Hey Trekkies, it's summer, and you know what that means. It's time for Creation Entertainment's Trek to Las Vegas 2025. This year, the convention has been expanded to a 5-day schedule, August 6th through the 10th at the Rio Las Vegas Hotel. Meet all your favorite Star Trek pros in one place, and hey, maybe you swing by Vic's Lounge and you see our panel. It's a great way to meet people in person and have some fun with your fellow Trekkies. If you can't make it to Star Trek Las Vegas, of course, there's also other events around the country this year. Trek to Orlando, August 23rd through 24th. There's the Trek to New Jersey, September 6th and 7th. And finally, the Trek to Chicago, November 22nd and 23rd. We're looking forward to meeting as many of you as we can this year. So make sure that you get ready to trek to Las Vegas.
This is Marcy, and you're listening to Open Pike Night, the podcast that can't be B-E-E-T, beat.
Is this thing on? Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Pike Night, the Strange New World podcast where your personal logs are the prime directive. I'm your host, John T. Bolds, here tonight with some amazing guests on stage and in the studio for our Strange New World Season 2 Retrospectacular. We will dissect our feelings on the whole of Strange New World so far and wonder desperately how we're ever going to make it to Season 3. Join us tonight as we put on our retrospectacles, call our shots, and find out which OPN host is taking the weight the hardest. I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Joining me tonight are my co-hosts, the man who's already blazed through 17 episodes of DS9 in a week, host of Sudden But Inevitable, Jesse.
It's actually 19 episodes. I just checked it, but they count that first one as 2. And I'm just going to say this right out of the gate. Move Along Home, not as bad as people say it is. Alan Moraine.
And the man who suddenly finds himself behind on DS9, host of Green Shirt and Newbie Trek through TNG, Cameron.
My dudes, seriously, I am physically jonesing so hard to get back into TNG and DS9. It's only been like 3 or 4 weeks, but I am ready. I think we are recording part 2 of Birthright later this week. I am so excited. Until this season of Strange New Worlds, somehow Birthright has been my biggest cliffhanger 2-parter episode in Star Trek history.
And joining us tonight is a woman who needs no introduction.
Marcy. Hi. I'm here.
She did need an introduction.
Thanks, John.
Just gotta see how awake you are. You had to work today, so I want to make sure you're on your toes.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready to take
Thanks for coming back, Marcy.
Take Cameron down a notch or 2,
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's gotta.
Uh-oh. We'll find out.
Oh, it's going to be a fun discussion. So, yeah, thank you for being here, Marcy. We're here to talk about all 10 episodes of Strange New World Season 2, and what a season it's been, and what a season we can expect maybe hopefully sometime in the future at no definitive date. So we can't even call this the second annual Retrospectacular because that's not going to be true at this point. It's not even going to be annual. It's just going to be seasonal Retrospectacular, I think. I
read an interview with Akiva Goldsman where he had a quote somewhere along the lines of, 10 years and 3 seasons from now. I was like, man, that really hurts.
They're going the Venture Brothers route for Strange New Worlds, huh?
Yeah. If that means we get a movie, though, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And a bunch of specials, yeah.
What would they do for a movie?
Ooh.
We'll save that for the end of the discussion.
I have a good idea for it, actually.
We basically have that question later. So.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any burning thoughts that need to get out before we hear from our first caller? Or are we ready to?
I think let them take the stage.
Yeah, let's do it. First up, we have a good returning voice. Here's Jessie from Crusher Convo Podcast.
Hey guys, it's Jessie. I wanted to give my quick thoughts on Season 2, but first, a little history lesson. So I guess it is my OPN call-anniversary because the first time I ever called in was on your season 1 retrospect with Abby Sommer. And the first time I ever called into a podcast ever, which of course led me down the path to my Twitter spaces and then onto my own podcast. So I feel this is a big moment to recognize.
Aw.
But anyways, for my thoughts. I'm going to say I didn't enjoy season 2 as much as I did season 1. Definitely had some good episodes, like episode 2, 5, 7, but it didn't hit me in the same feels as last year. I can't really say why, but it isn't a season I will really rewatch on repeat, except for a couple of episodes, obviously. But the biggest highlight, for sure, was Mariner and Boimler. One of the best Star Trek episodes of all time. I will die on that hill. I still love the horror movie episodes when it comes to the Gorn, but I kind of hope they move past the Gorn at some point and move on to other things. Really, like this is a big nitpick, but really wish we had more Ortegas. We had amazing moments with her character. She lit up the episode with what little she had, but it didn't feel like we really got to know her character as much as I wanted. But anyways, it was still a solid season overall, but I'm still a big fan of season 1. Anyways, guys, I'll leave it at right there. Keep on crushing it.
All right, Jesse, thank you for your call. Yeah, we can't ignore the fact that this is the podcast of Mortegas. Like, first and foremost, out the gate, from the pilot episode, Mortegas. From our first interview, Melissa Navia, Mortegas. We want Mortegas. We did finally get to meet her in person. Of course, we would, it was a great conversation, great meeting, but we're always going to want Mortegas. Was this enough Tegas, though, for season 2?
I mean, clearly this was not enough Tegas, but I will simply reiterate the point that I am constantly throwing out on social media at OpenPike. Follow us on whatever channel you feel is most comfortable, which probably changes by the day right now. To borrow a term from our friends at It's Got Star Trek, the social media wars are in full swing, and just find us where you feel comfortable, because that's where we'll interact with you. But I will reiterate
what if
that
MySpace comes back? What if MySpace, like Dark Horses,
will be there?
Remember how cool MySpace actually was?
That would be amazing. All of you guys here right now would be in my top 8.
Along
I
with like
appreciate that.
Todd or whoever was the first person to friend you.
Strange New Worlds theme song would be my music. Yeah.
Yep. My background song would just be episodes of us. So I think people probably would not visit my personal page very much. They would have to go to the show page. But just remember, everybody, that season 2 was written and produced before season 1 aired. So there was no chance to gather fan reaction. There was no chance for them to hear the cries of Mortegas. But I will say, rest assured, we have very solid, good reasons that we cannot talk about to believe that there will be Mortegas in season 3. And I'm just going to go ahead and plant a flag right here. There's going to be an Erica Ortegas focused episode in season 3. You can bet on that.
I would bet on an episode or a full-on hero storyline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like multi-episode storyline. Yeah.
A Battlestar Galactica Razor-like side TV movie all about her.
Without the sacrifice at the end. Yeah. Spoilers for
but
Battlestar Galactica Razor.
Just as many full frontal nudity shots, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Not of Ortegas, just gore.
Right.
Gore and schlongs.
Yeah.
All day long. That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Gore and
That
schlongs.
wasn't his schlong that came out behind Spock?
Behind Spock?
We don't know.
We don't know.
It was in an EVA suit.
All these people, those tails were too alien. Not tails.
Not tails, yeah. Not a ripoff.
As Jesse said, they didn't know, although once season 1 did come out, they did know that people were liking Ortegas. And I was wondering, like, are we kind of biased because we just have the Ortegas kind of community? But I was talking to my brother-in-law, and he does not follow stuff online. He doesn't read articles. He just watches the show, and he was going off about how great Ortegas is and how she's one of the best characters. So, I mean, I think it's universal. People love her.
And
that line we stood in at Star Trek Las Vegas was literally 3 hours long to meet her. Like, the people
Whoa.
want more Ortegas. Like, that is not an exaggeration.
No other line. Yeah, we didn't stand in line remotely that long for any other Strange New Worlds. I mean, yes, Melissa Navi is very talkative and outgoing and gregarious and was probably chatting more with people than any of the others.
And
but
was only
still.
there one day.
Yeah. But so was Celia, so was Jess. Yeah.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And people decided to wait 3 hours. No, I just love how they kind of punked us, the Paramount did, because they're like, oh, people want Mortegas. Let's tell them they're going to get Mortegas and give them the one kind of personal log she has, the most screen time she has. We're going to show them that tease. And as soon as we saw that episode, I was like, well, that was a little more Tegas, but it wasn't a lot Tegas.
Yeah.
I bet this is the most we're getting all season. And it sure was. I don't know why they're holding her. I'm definitely, that's a question we're going to ask Akiva and Henry next week when we talk to them. But I do wonder, maybe, there could be a reason. Maybe they're keeping her a blank canvas. So when they get to season 3, they have like this main character they can develop and not feel like they had written into a corner for storylines they want to tell. Or maybe because she is kind of the audience surrogate, which we've talked about, they feel like if they keep her a bit of a mystery, it's easier for us, the audience, to surrogate her.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with that.
And to embody her surrogacy,
Yeah,
to be the Gorn eggs in her body cavity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like her character is nice because there is so much drama going on with every single one of the other characters in this episode that it is nice to have one character that's just doing sort of like fun action things and doesn't have all this other baggage to go along with it. Like, and among the Lotus Eaters, I mean, you were following her character. She's not like suddenly becoming like rage captain. She's just like, I'm gonna save the ship. I mean, this is what I do. I just don't remember how to do it, And same with when she comes down to the planet to help out. And how do you say that word? Hegemony?
Yeah.
Hermione.
Yeah. You know how I don't pronounce things well. But anyway, I feel like she shows her action. She shows her excitement. She shows the fun side of some of this, whereas everybody else is kind of very serious, a lot of those scenes. So I was happy with the amount in the sense that at least we got some individual character building moments that weren't just drama,
I mean, you're 100% that, I'm glad that her character arc that we did see was like, she was tired of her day job and not like, the death of my parents and my miscarriage. I was just like, I'm kind of bored with what I do every day.
Thanks for sending me down the one time to the planet when it's a fucking Gorn attack. Thanks a lot, Spock.
Thanks for bringing me on the suicide mission. Yeah.
I will say, I'm hoping that with the lead up to the cliffhanger and her small part really in Hegemony, I think they're going to look at it and say, okay, we just need to make her Ellen Ripley in part 2 of this cliffhanger. And they have the opportunity because they haven't started production because of the strike. Like, they have another unique opportunity here with the delay and everything to be like, okay, everybody really, really, really loves Ortegas. Let's give her a badass moment in the sun. Let's give her a reason why Boimler called her specifically a war hero out of everybody on the crew. Like, let's see it. Let's see her lead that whole group off of the Gorn ship and make their escape. Or make peace. Either way. Yeah.
Can you guys even picture Ortegas on the battle juice? Like,
She would be like a tiny fist of power. Like, can you imagine? It would be like
be
a
so
comet
fast.
going through the Gorn.
Yeah.
Like, she just tears their hearts out and holds them beating in her hand and laughs as she's doing it.
Chapel already did that.
Mbanga offers it to her and she's like, that's my secret, Mbanga. I'm always on battle meth. And then she just, hulks out on the Gorn.
John, if we don't get Ortegas with a flamethrower at this point next season, I'm going to be disappointed since you put that in my head. Jesse, I will say what we know about season 3, what you're alluding to, does not prohibit the death of Ortegas in episode 1. In fact, what we know could be happen because of her death. But I will say I'm not too worried about her. I think if their plan was to kill Ortegas off in this two-parter, there would have been a lot more character build-up for her in the back end of the season. And they're still leaving her that blank slate. So I think as long... I'm going to get worried once we do get Ortegas. That's the problem. Right. That's the double-edged sword of the Swish. Is once we get her backstory, I'm going to be like, oh, she's dead in 3 episodes.
Yep. I will say I'm very glad they gave us her heroic moment of I'm Eric Ortegas, I fly the ship, especially because we got like definitive proof at STLV that was a very popular thought. We had some John, Cam, and Jesse shirts made up with name tags saying that, and people loved them and love Ortegas. And just we're going to be talking to the showrunners here in a few days, and we'll definitely tell them, look, if you kill her, you're going to kill your audience too.
You're going to have a riot on your hands.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to ask you guys, because obviously I love Among the Lotus Eaters. I loved the whole season. I loved every moment that we got with Erica, but I don't know that my favorite moment of hers was from Among the Lotus Eaters. I actually really loved her character's moments in Under the Cloak of War. Having her just be obstinately, almost completely refusing to even try to give the ambassador a chance, right? Like, that felt very human to me. I think she knocked those scenes out of the park. The very small moment of her and Mbenga talking about, how do we put this behind us? Like, how could we possibly be expected to sit into this dinner? And then, him reminding her, just put on a Starfleet face, and that being enough for her, right? Up to a breaking point. I felt that was kind of our deepest look into who she really is this season, and I really loved it. So I gotta know, what was y'all's favorite Ortegas moment this season?
Yeah, I mean, Among the Lotus Eaters is hard to beat, but I really liked her and Pike's interplay in the shuttle in that last episode. Like, the look of glee on her face at being able to do what she does and be on the away mission was pretty fantastic.
I'm gonna go with she and Uhura geeking out over Travis Mayweather, where they were pulling out the old piece of the Enterprise and those old scientists.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to be the dissenter here because you guys love Ortegas so much, and I love all of the characters so much that I had to be like, is it Ortegas? Is Ortegas my true favorite character? And it took me 2 seasons, and you mentioned the episode Under the Cloak of War. And that episode, Jesse, for me to realize that Mbenga was my favorite character. I mean, Ortegas is amazing, but
Ortegas doesn't have to be your favorite character.
I know.
But I appreciate that you feel defensive about it.
I feel like I'm gonna get shanked if I say anything, but
cut her mic, Jesse, cut her mic.
But I think part of it too is the interactions between the 3 war veterans, Chapel, Mbenga, and Ortegas, really brings a flavor to the show that you don't really have, I feel like, in some of the other... Hey, I don't stink! He put a nasty, nasty label up on the television. Anyway,
Thank you for explaining why we laugh, Marcy. That's good podcasting.
So those 3 characters together in that particular episode really reminds you that there was a big war, that it was a big deal, that, this guy may be trying to repent, but that doesn't mean he's not a butcher who killed a bunch of people. And it isn't the veterans' job. I was highly offended that the Federation was like, make sure these 3 guys who were traumatized by this guy, sit at a dinner table with him and pretend like they're okay with it. Like that, I felt like was extremely a bad form on the Federation's part.
Who's running the Federation? The AMPTA executives? Come on. How out of touch can you be?
Yes.
But to your point, Marcy, Mbenga is 1A for me if Ortegas is number 1. I agree with you completely. And this whole season, I've been talking about how excited I am to get more from him. And I have to point people to our brief interview with Babs Olusen Mokun from our press junket. We asked him, how does it feel to be able to show the other side of Mbenga, and he said, "Oh yeah, with what happens with those K individuals," and that's like the best understatement ever, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we assumed he was talking about episode 1, but my word, Under the Cloak of War is very high on my list this season.
And Jesse,
That was 3D chess by Babs there.
I feel like you might be interested in my theory that he feels a little bit like the priest from Firefly, where you think he's one thing, and then suddenly it's revealed that he's not just a doctor, he used to be kind of a secret agent, and that leaves so much more to be opened up about his backstory that we still haven't seen yet. You know, so he's so layered. Of all the characters, I feel like he has the most layered. He's a father who had to like let go of his daughter. He's a doctor who has to make all these like empathetic decisions. He was in a war where he chose to become empathetic, where we learn that he used to be kind of a killer, like maybe an assassin. Like, crazy depth to that character. More depth than any other character, I would say.
Yeah. I've got a question about him, but I'm going to save him for a later topic.
And that's a really good parallel because I feel like he definitely sent that ambassador to the special hell.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I do. Just since you guys are all talking about that, I want to talk about my honorable mention. Ortega's moment was with Mbenga when they're talking about Christine down on the planet in the final episode. That was a really good moment between them two.
It was a very good moment. Yeah.
I'll take that one, Cam. That'll be my favorite Ortega's moment.
And I'm just going to ask Jessie from Crusher Convo, as well as thank her for a whole year of calls. We literally couldn't make the show without callers, so thank you. And congratulations on the success of Crusher Convo. You guys are literally killing it. Like every other Crusher-based podcast that I'm aware of doesn't put out content at the same pace, and they don't quite dive as deep. But that could just be that I haven't listened to enough Crusher podcasts. We'll find out. And I will also say, typical of a Dodgers fan, not to like the musical.
Jesse, I do just want to say, I'm sure you would have gotten into podcasting without us. But to think that we were even a small step along your path, I mean, that's what makes kind of having this podcast so meaningful is that we're three white dudes. So to think that like, your guys' podcast out there looking at Star Trek through that feminist lens, that's awesome. I'm glad it's there.
It is.
I love you, Jesse, but I don't agree that this isn't as good as the first season.
I also don't agree with that.
Right, well, we'll talk about that at the end. We're going to save that at the end.
That's the end.
Okay. She did, that was like 90% of that call, so just...
That much, little tease for how we're ranking these at the end, everyone.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go to our next caller. Here is Newman returning to the Open Pike Night stage.
Newman the Space Hippie here from the Movies for Days podcast. This will not be organized. I miss Transporter Chief Kyle. Where is Transporter Chief Kyle? I've done no research. Are we just going to get a new Transporter Chief every season? What's up with that? My wife is very upset at Nurse Chapel for leaving Spock as quickly as she did and in the manner that she did. I kind of see both sides of this, and I also feel kind of bad for T'Pring because I feel like she was making a lot of effort in this relationship. Mm-hmm. We both think someone's going to die in the Season 3 opener, either Battelle or, I hate to say it, Sam, or possibly both. I know that Ortega's kind of got an episode in the episode where everybody lost their memory, but it's just not enough for me. I want more Ortegas. I want her to get like an episode that is clearly an Ortegas episode. I would really love it personally if we swung back to the Klingons in the Season 3 opener. Maybe it's the strengthening of the bond between the Federation and the Klingons, uneasy allies at first. Perhaps even led by a certain Klingon captain who remembers sharing a barrel of blood wine with the Vulcan science officer. I am hoping against hope that next season we get more of an engineering presence in every episode, and we've got Scotty and Pelia working together. I thought they had a cool dynamic. I'm excited to see more of that. Yeah, I think that's it. Kapla! Newman the Space Hippie, out.
All right, Newman. Thank you for calling in once again to Open Pike Night for our Retrospectacular. There were some relationship issues in Season 2. And there were some Klingons. So who wants to take that first?
Ooh. Well, that to me, if we're really looking at the whole season too, I feel like relationships and literal star-crossed lovers was the main theme of the season. You've got La'an and Kirk, can't be together. You've got Spock and Chapel, can't be together despite wanting to be together. You got Pike and Batel, who like what is their relationship status? Does anyone know? Like they keep checking each other's Facebook pages to see what the other one's doing. And yeah, it's not good. And you can even say, and here's my Mbenga question. Mbenga and his wife, because they were still together in the flashbacks. Where is she? Is she dead? Did they break up because of his experiences with the war? Did she let Rukia go with him because it was the only hope to save Rukia? And then if that's the case, how did their recent conversation go about how Rukia is doing? That would be an awkward conversation.
Hey, she's a star child now. Everything's fine, honey. Don't worry about it. Yes, she said goodbye to me. It's fine. I even got to see her as a grown-up. It's totally fine. Like,
no, she didn't say anything to you when she was turning into a nebula. She just talked to me. It was weird.
Just go talk to Debbie the Nebula or whatever her name is.
I'll give you Deb's number. You can get in touch.
Her babysitter.
Well, and that's a really good point, Cameron, because the other relationship that I would point to is the relationship between Starfleet and its officers, right? We get multiple instances where people are really questioning not necessarily their dedication, but the nature of their job in Starfleet. You know, we've got Pike is sent to clean up a mess on Rigel 7. He's lamenting the fact that it's so difficult for he and Batel to be together. You've got Mbenga trying to figure out his relationship with the two halves of himself, right? And how to live in this strange new world of Klingon peace. And I mean, definitely identity and relationships, that runs all the way through this season. The only thing that I will disagree with Newman on is that I want Captain Garkog to be the one to come back, because I loved the Klingon K-pop song and I love Bruce Horak, and I would love to see Bruce Horak always coming back to Strange New Worlds in some kind of prosthetic character. Like, he really has shown that he can step into those Jeffrey Combs shoes, play multiple characters in all different ways, and still be effective. So but I do really like your idea of maybe the Klingons showing up for a little assistance here, and I would love it if Spock were the one to reach out and ask for help. Because in Hegemony Part 1, let's just say it, he really does seem to be putting everything on his own shoulders, right? Like, I'm the one that has to go do this, not because of reasons, but because I said so. So it would be a nice...
Because I'm a Vulcan. A Vulcan is the one that needs to do this.
I Vulcan do it, and you... I don't know.
My green blood means I'm better at this.
Spock, are you here with us? Ethan Peck?
Well, I'm sure he was referring to the precision with which those rockets needed to be placed. But yeah, to that point, they could just put that on a pad and say, put it here. Here's a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I see Garkog's great, but I like the idea of Bruce Horak playing different characters each time.
Different aliens.
We got him as Garkog in season. Yeah, different aliens each time. And I mean, the captain from episode 1 was so cool. Like, everybody immediately was like, we love this guy. We love these Klingons. We love the way they look. Everybody's calling them Strange New Worlds Klingons. I'm still sticking by they are Undiscovered Country era Klingons. That's who they remind me of the most, especially that captain. But I do hope they bring Klingons in to help. I hope it's not just, Gorn and Federation only. Like, we've seen Star Trek conflicts involving multiple species before. DS9 does it well. Picard season 3 does it badly. And it's, it is a big universe and there's other creatures out there. So let's see some of them get involved in whatever they're trying to develop with the Gorn and with the Klingons.
Yeah, it seems like Disco Kling lovers love these Klingons, and Disco Kling haters. Whether you loved or hated Discovery Klingons, it seems everyone loved these Klingons. You nailed it with these ones. Yeah, I want to see more going forward. I'd love to see I love this kind of fractious alliance they have with them in all of this season. I'd still love to
Yep.
just see like a straight up space battle between Pike and a Klingon bird of prey. That would be fun too.
Yeah.
Well, Newman, I think you had some good questions there. The most important being, who are you shipping on Strange New Worlds? And dude, I haven't found my ship yet. Like, that's the interesting thing about these Strange New Worlds episodes is like, I mean, I know everybody likes like Chapel and Spock, but I'm like, it's not hitting all cylinders for me. I mean, I'm really digging everything. Maybe I'm just in love with Mbenga. I don't know. Like, I just feel like whenever he's on the screen, like, I totally forgot about like Spock in the T'Pring episode, and then like Pike and Patel. I'm like, I mean, there's chemistry between all those characters, but I'm like, I could care less if they like hook up, you know? And I guess that's like the good part of the chemistry with all of these actors is like, they just have chemistry together, and I don't really like care. I mean, it would be hot to see them like do stuff on screen, but like seriously, like in the on and fake Kirk, like, you know, whatever. Like, that's obviously like, you know, my opinion about that. So, I mean, it is actually better. What was the most recent episode where she meets him and like, I actually felt like there was kind of a relationship there. It wasn't the one where she went back in time, but then he shows up.
The musical.
The musical did it better, but still I was like not invested in it. So it's interesting. I am usually like a hard shipper. Like, I'll find my ship and then I'll go down with it. But and then the Klingons, yeah, of course, they should bring the Klingons in. We don't need like another best of both worlds. Like, this needs to be like something a little bit new, and what a great way to show how the Klingons and the humans actually come to be better allies. I think that would be like a really cool way to show us a moment of that happening. So they would really lose out if they didn't create that connection.
Plant the seeds for Kittimer, yeah.
Exactly. It would make a great parallel to TNG, where we know the Enterprise C showed up unasked to assist the Klingons, died with honor, and that was deeply meaningful to their entire empire. Like, and who loves a good fight better than the Klingons, right?
Yeah.
Like, they could be
Correct.
seeing weapons fire and they're like, oh, we got to go to wherever that is. I would love to see like 3D7s just decloak behind that Gord Hunter ship. You guys, I need season 3 so bad.
So, as far as shipping go, like, Chapel's getting a lot of crap. Chapel is getting a lot of crap, and it's like, okay,
For
yeah,
what? What has she done?
just
She's
people.
not the fucking cheater.
No, but she wants
to go have her fucking career?
I don't think she deserves all the crap.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Spock.
no, I don't think she does.
Deal.
But she is going to go
months.
get her MRS
It's
degree.
3
We know that.
months.
So
For both of them, they need to chill the F out. But
She's a
look,
pansexual. She wants to fuck whoever she wants to fuck, okay?
I think Marcy's actually nailing this, because a lot of the criticism that I've seen of Chapel on the social medias has had a tinge of misogyny in it. Like,
Yes.
oh, Chapel's a bitch because she did this and then she did that. I'm like, she struggled with that emotion, right?
Mhm.
Like, she spent episodes trying to figure out, like, how can I make this work? And then she gets told by a future guy that is not going to happen, and that it sort of doesn't matter what she does because nobody remembers her relationship with Spock. Like, what is this poor woman supposed to do, right? And I think the answer there is focus on your career.
on
Thank
top
you.
of that, yes, the way she broke up with him, maybe not great. Oh, she was basically being mind controlled by an alternate reality, causing her to sing her emotions. That wasn't her fault. Yes,
Yeah.
that sucks that's a terrible way to get broken up, but she couldn't help it. Fucking Uhura set them up to do that.
Poor
Yeah.
Spock has 2 women that are incredibly gorgeous who fell in love with him, and he couldn't figure out who he wanted to be with. Oh no, that bitch Chapel, she went and did her career.
as far as shipping goes, I think what I'm looking forward to most is season 3, episode 5, whatever the Spock comedy episode. We know it's going to be episode 5. If they stick with their pattern, where I don't know, the Spock story is not going to be important, but Sarek will have been really making trouble, and Amanda and Pike are going to hook up. And then there's going to be the whole Pike slept with my mom storyline for Spock to have to deal with, and it'll be hilarious. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's not out of character for Pike. It will not be out of character for Spock, because we've already seen him as a teenager now, both human and Vulcan. And yeah, it's like, go ahead, hook up Pike and Amanda. I dare you.
Here's the answer that I feel has just been floating around for 2 seasons that nobody has brought up. Give me Una and anyone. Like,
oh, yeah.
Give
Yes!
Una someone to care for. Maybe it's Nira. I don't know. But like, there needs to be, I need Una to have a little bit more to do, right? Like, we know that she's a very competent officer. We know that she is learning how to let some of that uptightness go. We learn that she knows now that she needs to connect to her crew in order to be a more effective commander. And we know that both Kirk brothers look up to her, and that's a huge deal. Now, Newman, I will say, if you haven't seen TOS, you should watch TOS, because I don't think they're going to kill Sam Kirk in part 2 of Hegemony. I'm just going to throw that out there.
He's safe.
And it would be nice to see more. Like, yeah, I miss Kyle too. Jay didn't even get a chance in this season. Like, yeah, we had a new transporter chief, but they got, 2 or 3 lines? Like,
yeah,
barely
and the answer to that, Newman, is Chief Kyle got another job on another show, and it was subsequently canceled. So it's possible,
No.
yeah, it's possible that he will come back in season 3.
Nice. Yeah, it was
That'd be
weird
cool.
that they gave us a bunch of Jay at the beginning. I feel like 2 or 3 episodes in the first 5, and then nothing in the second half. We got a name drop. Maybe a voice. Yeah. I don't know if that was actually their voice.
I even thought they said Kyle at one point, too.
I think they did.
Okay, there's one episode where they say, tell Chief Kyle, of like, wait, is Kyle still
Yep.
here? And then, yeah, with engineering, I agree.
question the
We need
validity
more
of that
actual
statement.
engineering-focused episodes next season. We've been missing those.
Hey, guys, can I talk about my ship?
Yes,
Go.
Cameron, talk
Go for
about
it.
your ship.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, first of all, yeah, sure. Una and whoever, I don't care. I just want a happy relationship. That's the other theme with
Yeah.
this. It's all
Yeah.
star-crossed relationships. Can someone get along, please? I know we were all excited about that with Pike and Patel. It was like the first healthy relationship in Star Trek. Nope. Second, if I just want the entire cast, I don't want to say cast, the entire ship, the crew, the characters to have an orgy, is that a ship? Does that count as a ship?
I think it's called the complication
That's
ship.
called a
Yes.
fuck? A fuck along?
Fuck ship? Fucking
ship?
log? What? Give him the old fucking log.
Fuck along.
Oh, gotcha. There could be another musical.
Fuck around. There you go.
Lieutenant's fuck log, stardate 3769.69.
Oh, you know, some of those characters keep that kind of a log. I mean, I'd like to think that Commander Riker is doing his best impression of a TOS era officer sometimes, and that's how he got to be so magnetic, you know?
Yeah.
All right. We need to get to other callers.
Yeah, but before we do, we are going to go through, because we'd be remiss if we don't actually address them. We had 9 one-word teases from our interviews leading up to season 2. We're going to break them apart and discuss, just quickly go through them and tell people, just say where we think was what. Most are obvious, some are not. So our first 3 were Weapons from Melissa Navia, Go from Bill Wolkoff, and Shang Dai from Jan Janot. So Shang Dai is pretty obvious. That was episode 10. That was Hegemony.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave us that. I believe he gave us that to hint at Scotty more than anything.
Yeah.
And Go, we know Bill Wolkoff all but actually confirmed that was Spock's Go to Warp line. Weapons from Melissa Navia. This was a Marshall-ass season of Star Trek.
Sure.
I'm going to say it was the Hegemony anti-Gorn weapons.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that's what I was thinking.
Oh, because that's the only one she was part of. I might say like the farming or the mining equipment from among the Lotus Eaters, but she wasn't in those scenes.
Yeah, she wasn't on the planet. But yeah, she was there like a kid on Christmas when they were opening up those Gorn blasters, and she was like, oh, okay, all right, I guess I'll go on this mission.
Yep. So that gives us 2 hints from episode 10 from Melissa and Dan, and 1 hint from episode 1 for Bill. So we'll just keep track of those. But we're going to hear from our next caller, Grayson.
Hey, everybody, real quick, a little, maybe a prediction for season 3. What if we take a cue from Hugh the Borg and we raise these
Marcy's
new
nodding.
baby Gornlings that are currently inside Marie Battelle, Captain Battelle? What if we let them come out of her, however they do that? I guess it's a chest burst aliens kind of situation. What if there's a way to safely remove them and then raise them as our own and make them good Federation citizens? Not like in some kind of creepy Guardians of the Galaxy RoboCop-looking Skeletor wannabe, high evolutionary way, where we keep them in a cage and rocket raccoon them to death. But what if we raise them in a nice apartment in San Francisco and teach them how to be nice people instead of
Gorn Full House.
People who implant eggs in others who don't want them implanted. I don't know. Could be a fun way to create some harmony between our species. Or then the Gorn just might be pissed that we kidnapped their babies. I don't know. But anyway, that's a theory. Let me know what you think.
First of all, Grayson, too soon on the Rocket Raccoon references. Come on, man. Too soon. Second of all, yes, like John said, I got total Full House vibes from that. What's that called? Gorn My Way? Gorn on up.
Oh, yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I love it.
But I do think, teaching the Gorn about consent might be worth Starfleet's time. Like, I don't see that would be antithetical to what the Federation stands for, right?
Fair.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Grayson, first of all, your voice, amazing. Second of all, the moment you said the word take a lesson from Hugh, I was like, I got you, bro. Like, yes, let's turn these Gorn into some model citizens. And like, yeah, they're going to come right out of her nipples. That's how Gorn escape the body.
This just turned into like Takashi Miike film. Oh my God.
This is why you bring Marcy on your show.
Sorry. No, that's disgusting. What kind of person am I? Anyway.
They come out of her butt. Come on.
But no, seriously, because there was that one juvenile that was like, hey, what's up? I'm not going to kill you. I know it was because she had eggs in her body or whatever. But I'm like, I think this can happen. Like, I was so happy when they finally showed like an adult Gorn with the exosuit on. I was like, yes. And I mean, yes, it was like a lot of alien vibes coming from it, aliens vibes. But like, it was super badass and it was really funny. Like, it was actually kind of a funny scene that this like horrible, just like crazy murderous creature was like, password not accepted. Password not accepted. It's like, damn it, kind of dumb. Like, but I would be doing that too. Like, I'm just like some grunt warrior. Like, I'm trying to figure out, the password. Where's the sticky note? Anyway, like, I think that's like a good strategy because like if you just fed them and didn't make them compete for food, there wouldn't be a need to feed. Am I right?
Yeah. I feel the need
to feed.
So, you have an alien vibe also, Marcy? Because mine's in my drawer right here.
It. It's got like multiple ding dongs on it.
That's the Klingon vibe. Also have it in my drawer. Have we talked about Borg Gorn yet? Borg Gorn.
No.
Oh shit!
Borg versus Borg Tribbles, and yeah.
I want to write that comic.
The battle to end all battles. Yeah. It is obviously there's something that's going to happen to remove the Gorn from the playing field as a major threat to Starfleet. Be it peace, be it war, be it some kind of eradication. I mean, inoculation. It could just be a vaccine.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a war. I know a lot of people are guessing for the Gorn War. I don't think there will be because they still want to keep them somewhat mysterious for Arena. I think they are going to find a diplomatic solution. We've already, they set the seeds for like they found something that hurts the Gorn that messes with their brains or something. So they're going to use that as leverage and they're going to kind of make this weird peace until Kirk It has to get all shirtless and sweaty with a senior Gorn later.
I have since seen Arena, and I will say I really like that they kept the Gorn as a guy in a suit and didn't go full CGI with that. Seems like it would have been an easy thing for them to go, no, just make it CGI. I don't want to deal with that. Question. Is it possible that that adult Gorn was just trying to mind meld with Spock by putting its hand on his face? We don't know that he was going to actually kill him, right? Like he was trying to make contact.
He just doesn't know his own strength, okay?
Yeah. Even though he needs a helmet, he doesn't know the humans need a helmet too.
Yeah. If that were the case, then Spock should have said, mind meld with this just before he jammed the metal into the Gorn's brain,
My sword to your face.
Or now that's what I call a mind meld.
That's good. Good, John. What about the Vulcan neck pinch? Would that work on a Gorn, do you think?
If they were not wearing a suit, it may.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
it's like in the Gorn's crotch is the nerve he needs to have.
That's where their nerve is.
I was going to make that joke, Marcy, but I figured I'd maxed out on my dildo and dick-related jokes for this question segment.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, not for the night, right?
No, I maxed out mine, so thank you for taking it.
I feel like I've mostly seen the nerve pinch work on humanoids.
Yeah.
But
It's got two arms,
I'm
two
sure,
legs. It's bipedal.
I'm sure somebody listening is like, no, they did it on this, But if that happened, at me on Twitter, or Threads or Blue Sky, wherever, at OpenPike.
MySpace.openpike.com. I think John's frozen.
I see that.
Either that or he really is disapproving of all of us.
I was like, God. I only said like 8 dick jokes, okay? What's wrong with that?
Nah, froze up. I like the idea of trying to raise Gorn good citizens, especially because of how fast they age and grow. Like, they're going to be like, oh, we need nannies. No, crap. We need, back to school supplies. Oh, shit. We need new clothes again. Like, they're 2 times bigger than they were this morning, It'll be a real rough, but real short. That could be one whole episode, is all the way up to getting to the point where they can fit in spacesuits and be smart enough to work them. Because it seems like they age really fast up to juvenile. So,
could I tell you a really cool theory that Andrew came up with while we were watching the show together, my husband? So he was saying that wouldn't it be interesting if it took a species 1,000 years to actually become smart and sentient? So when they start out young, they are brutal and violent and predators, and it takes them thousands of years to become the smart creatures that they are. So you never actually are able to see them until you couldn't tell the difference between the young version and the 1,000-year-old version. And so you could come on them and just be like, that's an animal, I'm gonna kill it and eat it. But if you had waited 1,000 years,
so
I guess that's evolution,
Yoda in the show.
But kind of like Yoda, I guess.
Well, you're talking about an individual lives 1,000 years.
Yes, an individual.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that would actually work because then Pelia would have something to do, right?
Yeah.
And it would actually be another great mirror for Arena, in which we get these godlike Metrons who are like, oh yeah, in about 1,000 years, we'll come back and see how you guys are doing. Maybe that's why they picked the Gorn, right? Because they were like, we need to parallel this somehow and show these humans that not every lifespan is 100 years. Not everything needs to be handled right now. There's some large scale maturation that needs to go on. That's a pretty cool thing. And then it would also make sense that the Gorn that Kirk fights is 1,000 years old, because he does not move quickly.
And also Pelia could have been a teenager for 1,000 years. I mean, she's what is her aging cycle like?
She's in the middle of that. She used to be young and violent and just killing and eating everything she came across.
She is Gorn.
She is the middle stage of Gorn.
That's the ultimate revelation, is Pelia's Gorn. Oh my God.
And Amanda Grayson taught her empathy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Funny.
Full circle. Nice.
Wow.
All right. Good. Thank you, Grayson. Was that Grayson?
Yeah, thank you, Grayson. That was a great call. Let's hear from our next caller. First time caller, but we've heard his voice before from STLV. Here's Joe.
Hello, this is Captain Joe Dove from the Captain's Quadrant. Fellas, thanks for the moment to share my theories for Season 3 and Query. For me, this has probably been one of the most controversial seasons of Star Trek, and that is, every season too. So they are in good company with the rest of the Star Trek universe. For me, I'm actually hoping we get another music episode, since they really went into it and did like a full musical rather than several spots of singing like they did in Way to Eden. So for Season 3, I'm hoping that we get a Gorn musical. Yes, imagine, if you will, the Gorn singing and hissing in succession in such a way that is dancing and joyful. It would be quite fun. And then you can get another appearance by the Klingons. So that is my first big theory for Season 3. And my query for Season 3 is, the Gorn are the big bads, and we definitely will have some type of confrontation with them long term. But do we believe that we will have an open forum confrontation where Pike is now the one fighting in the desert against the Gorn? Do we retcon? Do we have some type of cannibalization of canon to do us a favor and give us a modern day Gorn versus Pike? No spitting allowed, so no Pike Gorn babies. I don't know. That's what I was wondering. Let me know your thoughts.
All right, Joe, thank you very much. That's a great question. Let's answer that query first before we get into our topic. Maybe they're just going to go with, fine, let the people in charge fight the war. One captain versus one captain, and that starts a tradition of desert fights for one Gorn, one human.
Even though that wasn't
it's kept at bay that way.
A third-party alien who set up that fight.
I know.
Jesse just watched Arena. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The customer service aliens could make a reappearance and go, battle to the death is required.
Customer service agency.
But we don't want the captains involved in this because they've got so much going on already. Let's do whoever your best Gorn pilot is versus Erica Ortegas, one-on-one on the planet.
That's not fair to the Gorn, though. Come on.
I agree completely.
But it's how she becomes a war hero, by ending the Gorn War single-handedly.
I do love that idea of
Shut up, John!
About
She's
bringing
not going to die!
the musical back.
No, I don't think she'll die.
Because we know that they put part of that anomaly in a box at one point, so maybe they transported in some more particles, and they're just storing it on there. Like, you know what? We don't know when we might need this again someday. And they run into a race that they have to defeat through music, and so they just pump some more music through it. Maybe, some Eminem this time, so it's just subspace rap instead of CD. Or maybe they put in some Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in there, and we get a full-fledged, 80s action Star Trek episode.
If I get to see Mbenga just wading through Gorn blood with Till I Collapse playing in the background, I'm here for that, honestly.
I'm ready for you, Gorn. I'm ready to kill you with my giant machine gun. Get ready, Gorn. Here I come. I'm going to kill you.
Please tell me that's Mbenga.
Is that what you were thinking?
Yes. I want to hear Mbenga do.
You can't make an omelet without breaking a few Gorn eggs.
You are Gorn, and then you die.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
The rocket launcher is the logical choice.
And I gotta say, thank you, Joe, for calling in. Another one of the great voices that we have run into in the world of Star Trek podcasting. Go check out their recent episode of The Agony Booth, in which I sat down on purpose and watched the episode Coda on purpose. It happened to also be the day that Robert Beltran was doing his Robert Beltran stuff on Twitter. So that may have colored my viewing of his performance, but I'll be honest, it wasn't great. But go check out Captain's Quadrant and definitely check out that episode of The Agony Booth.
Yeah, excellent. And so, we're going to talk about, this is the season of big swings, but first I'm just going to say there'll be a shot where Mbenga comes in to heal Una, and he's going to say, remember how I said I'd heal you last? I lied. And then he gives her a hypo spray and goes on to
Oh, that's
elevation.
nice.
So,
Oh, that's a
anyway,
nice turn on that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, this that's the other kind of theme of this season, right? We had star-crossed relationships and then big swings. It definitely feels like the writers came in going,
big swings.
you know what, this might be the last season ever. Let's just like throw the fucking kitchen sink at it. Yeah, half the season, I would say, 5 of the 10 episodes would be stand out episodes in any other season of television. They'd be your Data's Day, your Cupids, your Trouble with Tribbles, your Expose from Lost, or your, is it Bad Blood from X-Files? Like that memorable episode. Like these are the episodes you would be like, oh yeah, that crazy one they did. Oh yeah, they did 5 of them in one season of 10 episodes. That's that's a lot.
And I could see, like, you know, kind of going back to what Jesse was saying from Crusher Convo, I could see where the wildly different tones per episode might bump on some people. Like, I get it, you know, sometimes people are looking for a consistent tone all the way through, but I would argue that our characters are what provide our consistency here, right? These are the people that we're attached to. They never, I really don't feel there was any moments in this season where anybody acted out of character, so to speak. I know a lot of people were upset with Pike, you know, asking the veterans to sit down, but that wasn't Pike's idea. That was an order that he had received. And we opened the season with him learning, like, you're probably on thin ice as far as the command structure goes, man. So, like, let's just follow as many orders as we can this season from your perspective. And I gotta say, I don't think he's going to in the resolution to this, because he's been ordered out of Gorn space.
Oh yeah, and I do like that they took big swings, but they took so many different types of big swings. And then the episodes that weren't big swing episodes were also extremely powerful. You know, 10 episodes, I still think 10 episodes is too few.
That was going to be my question.
I think 13 is the right number. I don't think I want more than 13, because then it would probably get to a point of desperation where they're like, well, we got to keep this up. And I think they'd have a hard time saying we can have a slower episode. We can have a more ponderous thought experiment. Haven't been a lot of thought experiment episodes so far in Strange New Worlds. Like, just deeply moral, nothing really going on but discussion like we get with TNG.
Well, one of the best episodes of this season was one, like the Ad Astra.
Yeah, I mean, and Ad Astra is the, one, but I feel like if we'd had 13 episodes, we would have had at least 2 or 3 of those so far. And I kind of like the idea of them doing 13 starting with later seasons, now that we've built a base of, like, here's all the things we are willing to do with Strange New Worlds. Now we have more room to breathe.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys how we feel about the 10 episodes, because I know at the end of season 1, we were kind of on the fence. I know, Jesse, you were leaning towards wanting him. I think I was leaning towards wanting a bit more, but also okay with 10. But at this point, I think I'd like more. Definitely, I'm an old man with kids. I don't want 22 episode seasons, but I'd push it maybe to 15, 16-ish. I'd like, I think these kind of big swing episodes would be more impactful if we had like 3 kind of just standard adventure episodes beforehand, and then like, what the fuck, they're singing all of a sudden. Also, I mean, one of my critiques with this season and maybe the show in general is they do so much telling and not showing. Like Una's arc of, she sings a whole song about like, now I'm open with people and I'm not stuck up and icy, or not stuck up, but like, I don't keep my distance. And I was like, we've never seen you do that, Una. We've only seen you be friendly and chummy with everyone. Like, we get told that you're a hard ass, but we don't really see it. So I'd like more episodes to get more of that kind of natural development, instead of them being like, oh, we want to do this thing, but we got to tell the audience this is what happened.
Yeah, like the one conversation we get with Una and somebody else, which is Mariner, is her saying, I don't want to know what you're telling me. Like, I know it is played for comedy of miscommunication, but it certainly goes against what she sings to Kirk in episode 9. So,
well, and even Una's episode in this season is kind of not her episode. It's kind of Nira's episode, and I totally chalk that up to the powerful performance by Yetide Badaki, but like, the episode became about her, right? Her passion is what drove it. Her intelligence is what drove the episode. Una was almost secondary to that episode, which I understand, and I still love that episode. It was an early favorite for me this season. But I think more Una, plus de Una, to make it rhyme, would serve us well here.
Well, just think about how important all the number 2s have been.
Mhm.
I mean, Spock's a number 2, Riker's a number 2.
Mhm.
And I feel like they're not giving her the role of like sort of protector of the crew, sometimes from the captain.
Mm.
The captain might make a decision that people have to come to the second of command and say, I don't agree with what the captain has decided. But nobody actually comes to her for those things. And I feel like it would be worth their time to give her the role of like being somebody that is like a protector of the crew, which everybody goes to Pike for that. So
There was one scene in Under the Cloak of War where she did that, and that was a really good scene. You're right. I'd like to see more of that, where she was the one who went to Pike and was like, we need to get this guy off the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, where she's recognizing that. And I think, you know, she's more of like the one person that Pike can talk to. And so they give her those scenes, but they don't give her a lot of scenes with other characters that are about her helping them with their workflow, which is what a second in command is all about.
Yeah.
And having her be the one to sort of call Pike out in the crossover, like, is it because this guy's such a fan of you? Is that why it's hard for you to maintain objectivity here? Like, that shows, just like the other scene that Cam was talking about, like, this shows that this character is very capable of that, and it's believable when she does it, right? Like, we know that Pike respects her opinion and will defer to her when necessary. Like, she goes, here's the course, set it in, and he's like, cool.
And Rebecca Momaine is like, yeah, she's this like larger than life kind of person that I feel like can carry the gravitas. Like, not only do I feel like she's like has a physical presence that's like stands true to these larger dudes, which I think sometimes as women, it's nice to see a woman with a large physical presence too. I feel like she could go down to the planet and be, I mean, she literally has like a super nuclear power in her body. Like, let's use her in more action oriented scenes. Like, maybe she doesn't want to be part of those. I don't know. But like, because that was like a lot of her roles in some of these other movies. But I feel like I love her physical presence. I love that she makes you feel like she could really take on like a Klingon or something. But we haven't even seen that part of her, you know, really.
Put her on the Gorn ship.
I will say it's very fun to see that her powers are just as selective as powers are in any other series, where it's like, yeah, it works right now, but when she's in a radiation belt, she can shrug off an overloading reactor, but not forget me radiation. And okay, whatever. It's television.
Whoa, that would have been really cool, John, if she was immune to it.
Yeah.
Ooh, but they should have called it. They should have called it "Forget Me Rot."
There you go. All right, so our next few season 2 one-word teases. The next one was Charades from Anitra Johnson. Obviously, pretty squarely episode 5. Orion Cocktails came from Henry Alonso Myers, and that we're definitely going to go with. I mean, is anybody objecting to it being the end of episode 7? I mean,
yeah, actually, I agree completely.
Yeah, that's totally what it was.
Yeah,
and earlier in the season, I was trying to be like, is the bartender an Orion? Like, is that what he was trying to get at?
You
like,
really did have the red string pulled out for that one. Yeah,
just slowly wrapping it up after episode 7. Like, no, it was episode 7.
That's what I do here.
And then Davey Perez gave us Totem, and again, very clear, episode 4. So we've got what, 2 episode 10s, a 1, a 4, a 5, and a 7 now for our one-word teases.
We would be remiss not to mention that Open Pike Night secured an episode title like a year and a half ago with Charades. Like,
we did.
We didn't know it.
We don't know that she knew that they would call it Charades. Like, maybe that's just the title they eventually landed on because it still happens in the episode, right? But like,
yep.
I mean, God, exclusive scoop. If you're not listening to Open Pike Night, you should be, especially if you like Star Trek Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. Speaking of exclusive scoop, there was a really fun moment during that Anitra Johnson interview. You should go back and listen to it, but her sister does what people who aren't on meeting try and do, and like crawled behind her in the background to get ice cream, and we could all see her the entire time.
That's hilarious.
It was pretty
very
awesome.
sweet. And it was like, yeah, it was really considerate. It wasn't super necessary because we don't do video with our interviews usually, but it was, I mean, so touching, you know, like to know that the people that make this show and the people that are on this show are just people, right? They're just people trying to do their jobs well. So frigging pay them, AMPTP. They deserve it. They're spinning gold for you. Hand them some bars of gold press latinum.
Absolutely. Support the strikers. We're now in the longest WGA strike in any of our lifetimes. We've passed 109 days now?
9 or 10 or 11. But
yeah,
here's the key to that, okay? Striking works because not only has the AMPTP reopened negotiations with the Writers Guild, they actually brought proposals to every item that the WGA was asking for proposals on. So I'm not here to say that it's all going to get resolved and everything's going to be fine, but I am here to say that striking works.
It does. And like a 3-month writer's strike is long. That is not a long strike by many terms. I mean, strikes go on for years sometimes in other industries. So good for the WGA. Do whatever you can to support SAG-AFTRA and the WGA strike. So let's hear from another caller. Voice we've been missing the last couple weeks. Here is Abby on the Open Pike Night stage.
Hey, Open Pike. It's Abby Summer from the First Flight podcast. So excited to be able to give you my thoughts for the season 2 wrap-up since I've been MIA the past few weeks hanging out in the woods. Pretty much my summary of this season is, yes, please, can I have some more? It is glorious. The characters, the stories, all the different things they tried. And the focus on character, even in standalone episodes, is phenomenal. But this wouldn't be me if I didn't talk a little bit about the food and the costumes. So the food, this Enterprise is a crew that eats. And not just because of Pike, which is glorious in its own right, but they sit down, they share meals, they share drinks, they talk to each other. They have these real relationships, and this is what makes the universe feel lived in. That and, costumes. I could gush forever about costumes. These are costumes that are designed by people who know and love this work and who know we're going to be seeing this in 4K. So it is detailed and brilliant and cutting edge and so absolutely what you expect and not expect at the same time, which is such a cool dichotomy. And if I could pull off half the things that this costume design team puts together, I might actually just wear them around and forget what everybody else says because they're that awesome. So hope all of you and yours are well. Have fun discussing all the rest of this awesome season, and we'll talk soon.
Okay. Meal from season 2 that you would most like to eat. I'll start with the Erica Ortegas burger that she doesn't even get to take a bite of. Like, that was the biggest moment of tension for me up to that point in the season. I was like, please bite the burger. I need to see you enjoy this burger.
I'm going to say the whatever the weird Vulcan food Pike made for the in-laws was had a nice little crunchy top.
Crispies.
Yeah, the Twisty Crispy. Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
Oh, well, you know that Marcia likes a little drinky. So I would have loved to have been. Cam, your giggles make me giggle. I would have loved to.
I'm just picturing you as a cartoon character right now.
Spock and the Klingon captain. I would have been drinking along with them on the planet there. What were they drinking? Blood wine.
Blood wine. You're a blood wine girl?
Give me some blood wine. Any kind of wine.
Oh, she's totally a blood wine girl.
Give me any kind of wine.
Over Orion Hurricanes? Okay.
Yeah.
For Marcy, girl dinner is blood wine.
Yeah.
Since the 90s, I have wanted to try Aractogino, so like Klingon, give me a strong Klingon coffee, and I'll be happy to start my day that way.
And if I'm not mistaken, Klingon coffee was another one of our teases, and I actually just heard Julian Bashir say Klingon coffee for the first time in my life. Gonna throw this out there. I love Julian. I love O'Brien. I love O'Brien and Julian. But I think so far my favorite is Odo.
Oh,
he's just. I love Odo.
Wow. That's an interesting take on DS9.
Well, he's only seen the first season, so all I can say is keep watching DS9.
Yeah, Abby, don't you worry. Our first interview, after our next interview with the showrunners, Henry Alonso Meyer and Akiva Goldsman, will be Bernadette Croft, the costume designer. Look for that interview dropping sometime in September. Can't wait to talk to her because, I mean, how do you beat the costumes of season 1? Like, they had such excuses to go so over the top with the costumes with the Elysian Kingdom. We had those awesome away team jackets.
The Rongovians,
Exactly. Yeah, the Rongovians. And then this season, like, it wasn't as flashy, but I still remember, like, every new costume being like, that looks fucking amazing.
There are so many costumes in this season.
Yeah.
It's none are Elysian Kingdom crazy, but yeah, they're all over the place.
The trial, the formal wear, the Klingon outfits are so good.
The Kalar outfits in episode 4.
Yeah.
The combat outfits, the away team outfits, the battle outfits.
The lower decks outfits in live action.
Seriously.
Dude.
The fidelity of that translation, I mean, all the way through the episode, right? But from animation to live action, like, they didn't miss a beat anywhere. Like that, and to Jesse from Crusher Combo's point, that's part of what makes that episode one of the greatest episodes of Star Trek ever. Full stop.
The choice of making Babs's costume be absolutely nothing when he's introduced in Under the Cloak of War.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bare ass is the best costume you can do.
And I loved the ambassador's costume. I love the ambassador's hair. And I will say, Abby, you're not the only person to have noticed this theme of food. I am seeing, like, full-on food websites talk about how Captain Pike still believes in cast iron in the 23rd century. Like, they're talking about the specific pan that he has. They talk about why he would choose that as a character. I saw a interview somewhere online with the food designer for this season. So that's somebody that we'll be reaching out to because I got to know about those Vulcan hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
And
so, Abby, you also mentioned, like, how this season is so character driven, even in the standalone episodes. And you're absolutely right. I do want to take a moment to talk about the previously ons with this season, because I feel like they got a little out of control for a series that is all about being episodic. They were so long and so, like, they spanned so many episodes. Usually a previously on will hit like maybe 3 episodes. I remember some that were hitting like 3 episodes from season 1, 4 episodes from season 2, and then into like an episode that would barely even touch on some of those things.
Couple episodes from Discovery.
Yes!
Like, there was some really intense previously ons, and kind of in the spirit of that, the one that they did in Discovery where they flash back all the way to the cage.
Right. That was great.
I mean, you guys, you know me. If I have one complaint of all of Strange New Worlds, it's that I don't need the previously on. I fully understand why it's there, but I think it is at this point just a relic of prestige TV. Like, people expect one to be there, and they were probably told by the studio to put it there. I don't need it.
I think it's so fun. I think it's just an excuse. They just want to keep having Spock and Chapel's kiss be shown over and over and over. There's not a single previous one that does not have that kiss in it. I swear to God. And I'm like, look. They were in the episode for like 2 minutes. You're just like trying to get people to come to the show.
We got to explain why they looked at each other in that one scene.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, like, because I never really watched the previously on, but like the first part of every previously on is them kissing.
Gotta remember they're having strife.
This is a horny series, everyone. Don't worry. We're going back to TNG season 1 levels of horniness.
I love the horniness. I mean, we gotta have that. What is life without wanting to have sex and love and do all those things? Nothing. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. If people didn't do it.
And it's Gene's vision.
Yeah, if our parents,
right?
Jesse, if your parents didn't have sex, Cam, if your parents, that's what Marcy is saying.
Yes.
If you didn't figure it out, come on, you guys are smarter than that. Your audience is smarter than that.
The horny pansexual space future is literally Gene Roddenberry's vision.
He would have loved this. He would have been like, more boobies!
Can we have Spock and Chapel kissing 3 times in the previously on?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what Star Trek is.
But also in 20 episodes, we have had the universe tell other important characters, you aren't important. Spock is important.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what happens to you as long as Spock is serious and asexual and lives. You do not matter.
That's what makes him the other John.
Like 10% of episodes have been about that message. And the messengers have been Pike and Boimler. Like, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Imagine her confidence.
She's going to get to that fellowship. Corby's going to be like, well, hey. And she's going to be like, fine, yes,
Yeah.
I do.
You know who cares about her? M'Benga cares about her. He is a loving, empathetic man.
And Erica.
Erica cares about her too. But I mean, like, that poor woman Spock has been putting her through the ringer. Leave her alone.
But
Okay.
I will say, it really does fit with TOS, right? Because we get these instances of Chapel being like, "Hey, Mr. Spock," and him like just turning away without saying anything.
Yes.
I'll be at my
And it's
bunk.
like they did a good job bringing these characters to those moments, right? Like, because otherwise Spock just kind of seems like a dick in TOS for no reason sometimes. Like,
Yeah. Let's think back to when we did our predictions for season 2. How few of those actually came true. But from us and from our callers, we didn't see Captain Angel at all. We didn't see Sybok or hear of Sybok hide nor hair. Like nothing.
That's another reason I think the Gorn are going to get wrapped up pretty quick in episode 1 of season 3, because I think we're going to get some Angel and Sybok in season 3. Which is what I said last season, so you know.
Yeah, it's interesting how much people were, and people are like, oh, it's going to be all about the Gorn. Like, no, we had one episode about the Gorn and one mention before that in this whole season. We had more Gorn time last season than we did this time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's it really has been just a all over the place season of just really good episodes, but man, stuff is happening off screen for sure.
but I did call Klingons, and I did call Bruce Horak as a Klingon.
Yep.
I think that might be it though. Like, I mean, like after that first trailer, right? I was like, oh, they're totally going to do a Guardian of Forever thing because we've got Rigel 7, we've got Pike visiting his past. There's a portal in this trailer. Nope.
All right. Well, let's hear from our next caller, the other half of Crusher Convo. Here is Michelle.
Hey, Open Pike Night. Now that the ride of Season 2 of Strange New Worlds has sadly come to a full stop, I have to say, while it was a roller coaster, and I did get a little bit of whiplash, I had a blast this season. There was some great Star Trek storytelling, including episode 2 with Una, which I'm worried is going to fall through the cracks a little bit because the second half of the season was so strong. But some great Trek philosophy, we had action adventure, we had horror, we had humor, we had great emotional character arcs, we had a musical that worked, and that soundtrack is on loop for me. I absolutely love it. And yes, there were some nitpicks, like, I can't believe Ortegas' story is over. She has to survive this Gorn attack. We need more Tegas. I'm also questioning alternate universe Jim Kirk's choice of hot dog. I think hot dogs should have condiments on them, some sort of condiment. Ketchup and mustard would be my preference, but that's my 2 cents on that. But ultimately, I felt like all the characters were very well served. Everybody felt like they were firing on all cylinders. We got Pelia this season. Carol Kane was phenomenal. My Crusher connection. Hey, the Lower Decks crossover worked. Why not bring Beverly Crusher or Wesley into it next season and have Jonathan Frakes direct? I think they took great chances this season, and they really paid off. So pay the actors, pay the writers. These companies need to do that so we can get more Star Trek on our screens. More Pike, please. We need more Pike. These shows give us hope. And Open Pike Night, thank you for all you're going to do to get us through this extra long hiatus. So until next time, live long and prosper.
Speaking of season 2 predictions, I never would have guessed that hot dogs would have been our time crystals of season 2.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Here we are.
And I gotta say, Michelle, I love your passion. I love your energy at all times. I love it on Crusher Combo. I love it every time you call in. I think you may be one of our most consistent voices ever. Like you're always on time. You always bring some Crusher to the table, and who could complain about that? And yeah, the intermix chamber and containment field. Like, seriously, it's on repeat on my phone. I don't even have Spotify. I got Spotify just to listen to this.
Spotify? Come on.
And yeah, my bad. And to the big swings, I will say in that same interview where Akiva Goldsman had mentioned how long we're waiting between seasons, there was some hints that they're just going to keep doing this every season. They're going to go big swings on genre, big swings on tone. So I have a proposal here that I think may actually physically kill Cameron, but give me Pike in a 3-piece suit for whatever reason, and give me a noir detective story in season 3 with this cast.
Fuck yeah.
I think you're killing Marcy.
Yeah, Marcy's the one who's... Well, where'd she go? Marcy? Oh, she just...
Well, Marcy's dying for the opposite reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we put Una in the 3-piece suit and have
Sure.
her do the noir and gender bend this a little bit because...
And Pike could be the femme fatale.
Yeah,
that hair.
I love this. Okay, because then I might be interested, but otherwise
Okay.
I would just be like, same as always, misogynistic genre that's really like slow and boring.
So, to Michelle's point about crossovers and other characters from the Star Trek milieu that might be available for this, give me Kyle Riker or Kyle Riker's dad. Give me some distant relative of Pulaski. Like, there are characters.
You're just baiting.
Have a traveler show up. There are characters that we know have deep roots in Starfleet that we haven't heard from since
let's
TNG.
just make the universe even smaller. Yeah,
I'm just saying there
bring
would
Rainn
be
Wilson back as Harry
that
Mudd.
I'm okay with.
Like,
Yes,
right.
bring in Harry
right,
Mudd.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna bring pre-established characters in, we're always gonna need to find a reason for it to work, right? Like, and this show has shown that they can do that. So I have every confidence in this team to pull that off if they choose to go down that path.
Yeah. So once the Orion scientists find a cure for Gorn eggs, coming back from last season, which will be great. Yeah, I'm glad to see them take as many big swings as they can. I think it's a Star Trek test bed if it needs to be. I'll take that as Strange New Worlds. It's like, okay, they may not be on a literal world, but this show qualified for its name this season. I mean, in an outstanding way.
One of my notes is, after 2 seasons, we can definitely say that Strange New Worlds was not a mantra, just a clever title, because they have not focused on Strange New Worlds. You're right. They've focused on Strange New quote-unquote worlds, but we have not. I was expecting a lot more like, let's visit weird planets, and we haven't gotten a lot of that.
Yeah, I agree. I want to make one comment because you've been talking about the big swings and Subspace Rhapsody has come up a lot. Did you guys discuss when you were discussing that episode, the Buffy episode?
A bit.
A little
Once
bit.
More with Feeling?
Yeah,
A lot
the
of our
writers were
callers
definitely
mentioned that.
taking inspiration from that. They said
Absolutely, because it was like, after I watched that episode, I was like, oh my god, I have to go back and watch the Buffy episode. And I was like, it still tracks, like it's still good, and it has the same level of believability in the universe of Buffy as I feel like it kind of did here with Subspace Rhapsody. Like, there was a reason, even if it was sort of like...
just enough hand wavy,
Yeah, like, but you still, like, there was a demon doing it great. Like, I totally believe it, you know, and here it's like they had some strange energy that was making them do it. So
anomalies are the space demons of Star Trek. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and there was a direct call out to that Buffy episode with the mention of bunnies, right? She's like, maybe I'll turn into bunnies. So it to your point, Marcy, they know and they care. And we in the interviews we've had with the writers, that doesn't surprise me at all that they would reach to another show and pull something from that and say, hey, if they can do it, we can totally do this.
Yeah, and I just love that they're, taking the things that they love, obviously, and putting it into this show in a way that's accessible to, like, kind of a new generation of people. Because, Buffy was definitely when I was a teenager, but I don't know a lot of people, unless they're really, like, into old television, that would go back and watch every single Buffy episode,
Right.
And so it's nice that they're kind of pulling these out, and if they're saying, like, oh, I'm taking my inspiration from this, maybe it will get young people to go back and watch some of this, like, old TV that, is why we do these kinds of podcasts, honestly. There are so many old good shows and movies that have inspired you guys, and, like, I am a media whore because of, like, those things that we watched back when we were kids and that our parents liked. So
yeah, here's where we make a hard pivot to Wolfram and Hart coverage from Angel.
Wait, isn't Angel really noir heavy? I should watch that sometime.
Angel's super noir.
I know. I want to watch it because of that. That's
yeah.
All I know about that is the name David Boreanaz. Is that, if that's even how you say that?
so.
But I will say the Trek trope that I hope we get somewhere in season 3 is a clone of somebody. I'd love to see 2 Pikes. I'd love to see 2 Ericas. Give me 2 Mbengas. I don't care who you pick. I just want to see 2 of them, and I want to see them have a misunderstanding and then work it out. I don't even care how you do it.
And then they become the healthy relationship. It's just
Yeah.
like, wow, you guys are just...
Yes! Why didn't I think of this?
Like, we blow all of our budget on the love scenes between with the
Double bangas.
and banga.
Gangbenga, I think. The term you're looking for.
Yeah, Michelle, you make a good point that I do feel like the first half of the season, everyone was raving about episode 2 at Astra per Aspera, and it has kind of gotten forgotten in the discussion, because I agree, like, the second half of the season is such a banger. We got the first 6 episodes of screeners, and I remember kind of being like, it's all right. Okay, I've got some issues here. It kind of gets a little better as it goes, and then those last 4 episodes, Jiminy Crickets, like, yeah, they definitely, like, ramped up in a big way this season.
Well, but episode 7 does the amazing callback to Ad Astra, though. Like,
oh yeah,
watching the crossover where you're like, oh, this is funny, this is great, but there's lots of, like, little moments, and then the moment that Boimler and Una have that conversation, I actually started crying watching that scene.
Oh yeah, I still cry every time I see that conversation. Like.
So it kind of got lost, but it has one of the best moments,
right.
Yeah. And I think it's a good time. I think episode 6 is probably going to be the least, like, rewatched episode of the season.
Which one is that?
Exactly. See, none of you remember.
Uhura's episode.
Well, it's one of the most. I always have to remember which one's between 5 and 6. I feel 6 is like the most classic Trek episode of all of them.
Yes. It is a very.
I think I fell asleep during Trek. 5 and 6 because I was like, I don't really remember these 2 episodes.
Marcy's over there, I hope we don't talk about episodes 5 and 6. Please don't talk about those.
Yeah, the immediate connection to Spock's potential father-in-law that I felt, I was like,
oh man,
I'm gonna rewatch this so many times.
Yeah,
but like that Uhura episode, that's a really good point, because Celia Gooding knocks it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good episode.
It's a great episode.
The range that they have is on full display there before we even get their singing voice. But it's almost smaller than the other episodes, right? Like it's almost too personal with the stakes compared to the rest of the episodes.
Well, I was thinking about that today, about that episode. I think this leads us perfectly into our next conversation topic is, I think that episode would have been more impactful if it hadn't been Jim Kirk. If we had gotten more of our crew, if it had been someone else going around with Uhura and another crew bond forming.
Una.
Yes, instead of who is just kind of, he's not just a 1-episode character because he popped up 3 times, but still, like, yeah, he's a guest character. And yeah, if it had been Una and Uhura, I think that episode would be more memorable. And so, yeah, how do we feel about Jim Kirk at the end of season 2? And Scotty. I mean, let's just say all. I've been wondering what metaphor to use, and I think this will be my apt metaphor. Is season 1, Jim Kirk to me was like a hot dog covered in ketchup and mustard. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Ew, gross. Yeah.
But by the end of season 2, he's kind of like just a good, solid, like a good baseball game hot dog that's wrapped in the tinfoil, and like the bun is like fused with the meat. And it's not my favorite thing in the world to eat, but there are times when I'm kind of in the mood for it, and it's not bad. That's where I've gotten. Kirk has become a nice, bald hot dog to me.
Yep. Cam wants to raw dog Jim Kirk. Okay.
That's what I heard.
Docking!
So
let's go to my fucking log.
In season 1, I was, you probably remember, I was like, this isn't really him. This is an alternate version of him. Like, everybody needs to relax. Mm-hmm. And I stand by that. But in season 2, we got the first glimpse of him we got was another alternate version. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, is this going to be the thing? Like, is it only alternate versions of him, which I will accept because I am a fanboy.
Which I liked. I like that idea still.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him do some stuff that matters. Like, I would like Kirk to have a history from before TOS, right? And I would like that to be imperfect, because in TOS, he's just too perfect for me.
Mm-hmm. But I would say, like, even the alternate versions did things that mattered. Like, Kirk in season 1 affected Pike. Kirk in episode 3 affected La'an. They did affect the universe going forward, yeah.
But the other thing I will say, so in Tomorrow 3, Tomorrow Cubed, whatever we decided to call it, I was like almost not on board with the car chase scene. I was like, really? We're going to do a car chase and we're going to put this music
modern day music in it? Yeah.
I guess I'll go for the ride to keep the metaphor going. But I love how they ended it. I loved that it felt kind of like that Voyager episode where they meet Sarah Silverman, and that it was like just sort of a fun thing, but it had some impact for the characters. I will say, episode 3 also had the first moment where I saw Jim Kirk unequivocally in Paul Wesley, and that was when he was at the archaeology department with La'an, and he didn't have anything to say. He just turned to the side, raised an eyebrow, and made a Kirk face. And I was like, oh, this man understands the assignment. I'm totally here for this. Like, he knows how to fit into this character. And then the 2 subsequent appearances that we got from him, I was on board. I didn't like that they felt the need to rely on that character, but I don't know. That could be either a combination of the studio going, okay, you're going to make Star Trek, you put Kirk in it, you put Spock in it. Those are your 2 mandates, right? Or it could be Akiva Goldsman going, I want to play with Kirk. If I'm making a show right now, Kirk is there and I'm going to play with him, which I fully understand the impulse of. I think that he really came into his Kirk own in season 2, personally.
Yeah, and I will say, like, they were obviously trying to do something with episode 6, bringing Kirk finally for the first time into this actual universe, and having him meet Uhura. Obviously, they need to know each other at some point. Yes, it didn't need to happen this directly. It could have been just as effective to have him on the Farragut chasing down somebody who was hearing the transmissions.
That would have been fun.
It could have been done in a different, more subtle way. And yes, it would have been nice to see her working with her current crew, not her future crew. But I like him. I hope they do keep it limited. I hope, like, yes, we're going to see Scotty at the beginning of season 3. I hope we don't keep Scotty. I hope he's not the engineer for season 3. But I would take it if he was. I would have. Yeah. I wouldn't be mad.
I'm not going to cancel the podcast if he is.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess for me, I've tried to parse out if it's because it's this actor that's playing him, or because I just don't want to see Kirk in the show. And I think it's a little bit of both, but, like, I think it's more now that I'm like, I don't like that Kirk is so involved with the crew already. Like, because lots of captains become a captain of a ship without actually knowing anybody on the crew. I mean, and so
Jellicoe.
I just... I care about these other characters, and the point is that we're here to see all these other characters. We've already seen Kirk and all the thousands of content and stuff that's out there, so I understand wanting to make him a little bit a piece of it because it's basically in the TOS era time, but I don't care about him. Like, I want to see all these other characters interact, and I always feel that about lots of franchises where they're so incestuous, they always want to bring like all these other characters because the fans want it. And actually, no, like, I want to see new and interesting characters, and then maybe you could do a drop-in. That would make it even more impactful if it's like once a season or like maybe 3 seasons in. And
Scotty showing up
like,
in season 6 of TNG.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so bringing all these characters in is just diluting the cool-ass people that I want to see. And they don't have as good a chemistry because they're not there all the time. They're guest stars. So, of course, Kirk can't have as good a chemistry with people because he's not a main actor.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And he's been in 20% of the episodes so far.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's a big chunk. Yeah.
And
4
let me
episodes,
throw this directly in Cameron's face. McCoy was in the first episode of TNG. Like,
I know.
TNG did it
for like
much
2
quicker.
minutes.
Yeah.
But my point is, like, it's not
Exactly.
a new
Thank you,
thing.
Cam.
And this show arguably held out longer than that show.
That I'm fine with that facial, Jesse. That was good.
I
just had a thought.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing, Marcy. You're right. I just had a horrifying thought. So thinking of what, Big Swings season 3, talking about Jim Kirk. I mean, we've got time travel. We've got a Kirk here. I feel like Star Trek is just waiting to bring William Shatner back for one last hurrah before they don't have the chance.
No.
I'm going to doubt that for a lot of reasons.
And here they are waiting, not able to film season 3 with the clock ticking, just watching.
I don't think that that's going to happen, honestly. I think it would be more likely that we see George Takei in some kind of non-Sulu role, or that we see Walter Koenig in some sort of non-Chekhov role.
I don't know. And I want to see it because Generations was not a good goodbye to William Shatner. So I would not mind a second chance at that.
Oh, just wait till you get to Picard season 3, my friend.
All right.
Yep. All right. So our last 3 one-word teases of the last season. Like you said, Rong Fu gave us Klingon coffee. Rong Fu, props to you for giving us a teaser that is all about your scene. Like, other people were like, oh yeah, I'll give you sort of a nebulous one. You're like, no, this was my scene. I was making coffee. So good for you.
Good to see Mitchell in the captain's chair too. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Great to see captain's chair, get some more screen time.
Got to sing?
She got to sing, yeah. Strange New Feelings. Nami Melamod. We're all assuming this was still episode 5?
No, I think it was episode 3.
Yeah, Jesse thinks it's 3.
Oh, yeah.
When
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5.
La'an was looking at Kirk in the hotel room, like, these are some new feelings that I'm having that I'm not used to.
I think it's 100% 5.
Like, I could see it being
my guess is that Nami gave us the track title.
Right. Yeah, she did.
For that piece of the score, right? Like, so we kind of need the season 2 score to come out, I think, before we can actually
like
settle
8 months.
this.
Yeah.
This is the mystery one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. And maybe we can help push that, because as soon as people got vocal about the season 1 score, it came out like a month later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. And then Colorful from Dr. Aaron McDonald. I'm going to say blue and yellow.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it has been a very visually colorful season, but we literally had 2 colors, great characters, and a like just a great story there.
Yeah.
So
remediation has been made. No further contact is necessary.
What part of those aliens did they bring to Aaron McDonald to be like, can you science this up? Like the customer service aliens?
Maybe the pocket universe that they fly into?
Yeah,
or
maybe. What that would look like? Yeah, maybe the look of the actual wormhole.
The room.
Yeah.
I don't know what's a scientist going to be like. Say, scientist, what's a pocket universe room look like that would belong to an alien call center?
Yeah, what would a kind of aloof like just a little bit mean aliens customer service line sound like Dr. Aaron.
Can you check your PhD and see if there's an
Okay,
answer?
John, have you ever worked customer service? It's a difficult job, okay?
Maybe Dr. Aaron has worked some customer service, and that's what they went to her for.
There we go.
How would you sound if you were taking a customer service call from somebody you'd never met whose problem you had already solved?
All right. Well, let's get to our second to last caller. Here's Alpha Talking.
This is at Alpha Talking from Twitter or X or whatever you call it. My thoughts on season 2 are that it was just phenomenal. It was better, I believe, than the first season. It built on everyone's relationships perfectly. How do you top the crossover from Lower Decks, the musical episode, and the background with Chap and Mbenga? It was just the best. And as a TOS canon freak, looking back at TOS, I always wondered why Chapel didn't seem to ever really get along well with Bones, and these episodes really show that no one can replace Mbenga to her. It was just interesting for me. It was great little backstory there. As for where they're going to go in season 3, yes, we have the Gorn War going on or what's going to be called, but I feel that other than what everybody expects, I don't think there'll be a major death. I think Leon and Ortegas is just too popular. Sam isn't going to go anywhere. I think it's just going to be a little bit different than people think. I think Pike will negotiate a treaty. I think there'll be a way to communicate with the Gorn through the lights. Peace will be made. It will not be a conflict that Kirk would have been able to solve, guns blazing. It'll be a peaceful conflict that will probably end in a veil of secrecy over the entire thing, which maybe that's just personally for me, will tie in greatly with Arena. Thanks, guys. Love your show, and it was just a fantastic season. Can't wait for the next one.
All right, Alpha Talking, thank you for calling in. I do love that we have so many different perspectives from our callers. I like that we have some very TOS canon purists, and I've gotten into it a little bit too. It's like, how are they going to get here if they're trying to get here? And obviously this season, they did a lot more than season 1 did for it.
And Alpha Talking, excellent point about McCoy and Chapel. I hadn't even considered that, especially because we already had the Uhura and Pelia friction over Hemmer, right? Like, I was totally here for that. And I think, John, you called that, actually, going back to our predictions. I think you did call that last year. But yeah, I mean, that is a really, really good point. And as far as your veil of secrecy idea goes, we've seen Star Trek do that before and have it be good enough, right? So I could definitely see that happening as well.
I just remember the pilot of Strange New Worlds being like, "Oh, remember that big thing that we all swore to secrecy? Let's tell everyone about it."
Also, let's name a shuttle after one of the people on that ship.
What if, like, the time cops show up and they're like, "What's up, guys?" And they're like, "Guess what, the Gorn? We're just gonna turn back time."
I wonder if there is like some mind wipe stuff that's going to happen at some point.
Ooh, Pulaski method on crack.
Ooh.
That's why we never heard from her again in TNG. She got sent back in time to Strange New Worlds.
Yeah,
right.
Just like mind wipe thousands of people to know that there's no Gorn.
You get a mind wipe. You get a mind wipe. Oh, everyone's saying for a whole day? Mind wipes everybody.
Now, I really like that they mentioned that singing episode in episode 10 by having Pike say, well, at least I'm not bursting into song every 10 seconds. That was a nice little callback. And Cameron, the other thing, this is a little bit back to where we were talking about, let's get some more episodes. I think another benefit of that would be that we could get a 2-parter in the middle of the season or toward the end of the season, right? Like give us an episode that's actually 2 hours long and break it in half and give us the second half right after the first half.
Or they might just give us a 2-hour long episode.
Well, you know me, I'm easy to please.
Their running times were not restrained this season.
Yeah, they definitely like expanded to fill the space this time.
Yeah. When we got the screeners, I was like, look at these run times. They're so long.
But that's a good point. Where do they go from here? As you said, it sounds like Akiva and them are planning to just keep swinging for the fences. But like, what do you think? How do you top Lower Decks crossover and a musical episode and a La'an-centric time travel episode and a Spock Becomes Human episode and a really freaking dark, maybe one of our main characters is a murderer episode?
You do it with a cloned Mbenga. That's what
All right.
you need. 2 Mbengas.
Yeah. Maybe they just go full Sherlock and like, fine, 90-minute. We did 10 episodes, but they're 90 minutes each. These are just movie after movie after movie. And we can add in some of the slower moments. We can add, and like, it's cheap. It's people hanging out in their quarters. It's character growth. It doesn't have to be the action. We just put the showing back in.
And despite my rabid fanboy nature, I will say I am not actually hoping for another crossover episode because to me it would feel like, oh, they're trying to do those old scientists again. Yeah. Same if they did another musical episode, I'd be like, okay, we just did this. Like, if they want to wait a couple seasons and then do that, I'm probably fine with that. But I don't think we need that in season 3. I think season 3 needs to focus on this cast, and we need maybe more episodes like Uhura's episode so that one doesn't feel quite so singled out, like give me some really deep character-centric episodes. And this ensemble, as we've said before, they have the power to do it. Any one of these people can carry an episode on their own, and we know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, season 2 reinvented season 1. We didn't just retread those steps. So I think 3 is going to do different things. I think a cloned episode could be good. What if it was like a Being John Malkovich thing where like one character became the entire crew? And
that would be
only
cool.
One of them
weird
maintained their real memories. It was like, is this what I'm like all the time? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people mentioned how this season had horror, and I'm like, it had some horror elements. It did not have a horror episode. Episode 9 of season 1 was pretty close to horror episode, but I could definitely go for like a straight slasher episode in season 3. That would be a lot of fun.
There were moments of it in this, but yeah, there was not I don't think there was a full horror episode.
Yeah, there was like 2 horror scenes in episode 6.
Yeah.
Did you feel as weirded out or felt like, oh my gosh, as I do in TNG when they mention old stuff, but now they're mentioning like zombie movies and stuff, and I'm like, no, just stop.
Marcy, Una is a fan of Gilbert and Sullivan. Clearly, she's into the archaic media bin.
I'm not just.
Right?
I understand it. It's just it's funny to see that now they're picking up on what is pop culture now instead of what was like maybe popular in the 90s. To bring back. It's just like, but it just felt really just took me out of the world immediately.
What takes you out more, when they make a zombie reference in Strange New Worlds, or when they're just talking about 1950s jazz all the time in TNG?
I don't know. I think music translates way better to me in the future, I feel like, than like movies. Although, I mean, I watch a lot of older movies, but they're not watching movies from nowadays, like their time. So, like, is that just an archaic form of entertainment? Are we going to actually get to see, like, that could be a fun episode? An actor from the Federation that's like a movie actor.
So you're in my head, Marcy.
And they've discovered a new trove of old records of these books called, about this guy named Dixon Hill. So they bring him in. They actually become the restorers for Picard.
Or they find the Ivana Chubbuck acting books, and then La'an walks them through, like, here's how you would act, right? Because she's all about putting up facades.
So other genres that they haven't tackled in Star Trek, what if they meet an alien race and the only way to appease them, they find out, is to teach them how to cook, and it just becomes a cooking show with Pike? Like, an entire episode is an actual Pike cooking show.
I think we do need one of those day in the life episodes, a la A Data's Day, where it's like there are no stakes. This is just people hanging out. Here's what they do for fun. Show us Erica like skydiving off of the largest mountain in the universe or something. Like, give us the fun moments for these characters that we don't feel like they're going to matter, and then 2-3 episodes later that becomes a piece of key knowledge. But Marcy, I don't disagree. Like I said, when we got the modern music in episode 3, I was like, oh, this is kind of grating on me. And there does seem to be
times. And that was just on the radio.
Right, but that's like I get it.
The least
I understand the conceit. I just didn't like it, but it didn't ruin anything for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gotta punch up my idea. So we talked about what if Pike and the Gorn had to go mano-a-mano battle on the desert planet, but what if, it's Pike, not Kirk, so he's going to be like, well, why a fisticuffs battle? We have to have a bake-off, and then it becomes like a cutthroat kitchen, sort of like, all right, you both have to make a key lime pie, but you got to use pickles and Owan eggs. Go for it.
You don't want to use those eggs. Trust me, they don't have a good track record.
That's just with Riker.
So I'm super excited. Well, everybody loved the K-pop Klingons. And I love me some K-dramas. I love watching my K-dramas.
Oh.
I think it would be hilarious if they did a K-drama episode. Then they could do the Nurse Chapel Spock just before they kiss. 360 all the way around them Korean drama kiss where there's no movement of the lips at all.
I would like that to be in Korean. I want it to be in Korean and subtitled the whole way through.
Funny.
Like a telenovela. Yeah.
Yeah, basically the same.
Yeah.
And there's a challenge for Uhura, right? She's the only one that understands everybody regardless.
I could see that, actually. Yeah.
I'd be here for that,
Universal
honestly.
Translator.
There's a really angry mother-in-law somewhere.
I mean, I could go for like...
take down the spunky girl.
It's not a huge swing, but like a legit medical drama episode. Like I feel they've kind of skirted them, but they've never, from what I've seen, have really done like a whole episode focused on a medical drama.
Or like a clear like police mystery or something that's like just trying to like find the murderer.
Oh, well, and to me, I mean, TNG always combine that with noir, right, Marcy? So I don't want to push that button again.
But you get because you got the one we just did with Geordi and the dog. The dog did it right on the communication station. That was very much like a murder mystery.
That's also the kind of episode you get when seasons are 26 episodes long.
100%.
It's been 6 seasons. They're like, okay, who hasn't had an episode recently? All right, give him an episode. What's it about? I don't care. Just whatever.
Well, put a dog in it.
I would like an I don't know episode. I would like an episode where it's like, we learned nothing from this. We just had to go through either something hilarious,
a Coen Brothers
horrifying,
episode,
mysterious, where it's just like, what the fuck, and just never address it again. Never bring it's like, that something happened. We do not know what. Space is freaking weird.
Either Coen Brothers,
Deuterium burn after reading,
or David Lynch.
Exactly.
Maybe
exactly. Warp 7. People start going crazy because they go too fast and committing atrocious murders.
Yeah, bringing on like big name celebrity directors. That could be interesting. All right,
that'd be super fun.
I'm very curious what they have planned for season 3, and it's planned. We just need them to film it.
Well, speaking of, let's hear from our last caller of the evening. Here's Peter.
Hi, it's Peter. 10 weeks just whizzed by, and now season 2 is in the books. Here are some random thoughts about season 2. My favorite episodes are Those Old Scientists, Ad Astra per Aspera, and Subspace Rhapsody. I really enjoyed the swinging for the fences that the show did. The crossover and musical episodes in particular were very well done, keeping the spirit of the franchise while also exploring new styles of storytelling. My favorite moments were when Boimler and Mariner interacted with the Enterprise crew. One aspect of season 2 I wish we had was a happier development for the Spock-Chapel relationship. It was hinted at back in the pilot, deepened in the middle of the season, and then seemed to have ended relatively quickly by the finale. I hope we could have seen them together for a longer period of time. While I generally prefer seasons to end without a cliffhanger, the finale was well done and left me looking forward to how everything will resolve in season 3. I'm just a bit sad that it will probably be at least 18 to 24 months before we see the conclusion, but agree with why it will take longer than originally planned. It's been a fun ride in season 2. Just like what you did during the season 1, season 2 hiatus, I hope you will have additional Open Pike Night episodes. Thanks, and live long and prosper.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. Good to hear your voice as always on the Open Pike Night stage. We could conceivably, which we're not going to be keeping up weekly episodes, but if we were, we could conceivably do 100 episodes before the next season of Strange New Worlds airs.
That's swinging for the fences. But I mean, we hear you guys. You're not the only one who said that, Peter. And we take our responsibility seriously. We've got ideas for at least half a dozen of those 100, and we're going to brainstorm more. So we have got your Strange New Worlds fix here during this hiatus, however long it is.
And fingers crossed, as soon as these strikes are over, we are going to be reaching our grubby little interview fingers out to all of the cast, all of the writers, just like we did last season, because there's so much to discuss here. And I know that Cam and John and whomever we bring on weekly always have good insight into the process and to the experience, whereas I'm just like, yay! But there's nothing quite like getting it from the people that made it. And that, that is something that we are able to do specifically because of callers like you, Peter. Peter was our first caller ever, I believe. Mm-hmm. And to have you here at the end of season 2 with us, still calling in, still bringing the good analysis every time, is deeply meaningful, and it gives us something to point to when we get in touch with publicists and managers. We can say, look, the fans are dedicated to your show. They want to ask you questions. We're just here to be the middlemen for that. And we can demonstrate that we're pretty effective at being that middleman. So thank you, Peter, for your continued calling and good analysis. And yeah, I'm really glad to hear that not everybody forgot about episode 2 just because the end of this season was so bananas all the way through. I mean, I know season 2, episode 7 is an all-timer, okay? But I said the same thing about episode 2 because I really, really felt that way. It was bringing truly Star Trek ideas and character moments into a new audience. We know that Strange New World Season 2 has been wildly popular. It's cracked the Nielsen streaming top 10 multiple times, and I will just say more times than Picard Season 3.
Yeah, and those 10 weeks did fly by, Peter, because they were 9 weeks, because Paramount threw us that damn curveball in the middle of the season, and it's... hopefully they don't do that again. That was a little crazy.
It needs to be a 2-parter where they go, part 1 came out on Thursday, and because of a convention, we're going to give you part 2 on Sunday. That's the only way I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
They got to think about us podcasters when they do that, honestly.
Right?
Seriously, have a heart.
Peter, I think raises my last question. What were your guys' favorite episodes? I'm going to say I loved the Swinging for the Fences. I loved the big chance episodes. I really did. And Those Old Scientists is definitely up there for me. I bet
I can call which one is Cam's favorite.
A really great one. I think my 2 favorites were the 2 most kind of just classic, playing to its strengths episodes, Among the Lotus Eaters and Hegemony. Both of those, I think, just took the cast, took the chemistry between them, and let them go on a fun space adventure yarn that is what I come to Star Trek for. So those are my comfort episodes, and Those Old Scientists was just also really good. But I with some looking back, I do feel there's kind of some plotting clunkiness in the middle there. So yeah, I'm going with the ones people don't normally talk about with this season.
I think Those Old Scientists is the chalk answer, but I'll never hold that against anybody.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
I totally get it. Let's have John go next.
I mean, yes, Those Old Scientists. I also really liked Charades. I enjoyed Charades. I think it was a massive improvement on Spock Amok, and while building on it. And I respect what they went for there, and I think it worked on a much better level all the way through that episode than the season 1 episode 5. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Those Old Scientists and Charades.
I'm planting my flag that Cybok makes a return in episode 5 next season,
in which Spock gets cloned.
That's right.
And Pike sleeps with their mom.
Yeah,
there's a lot in that episode. Yeah.
Marcy?
I mean, can I pick 3?
I basically did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter did.
So I feel like I'm on the page with Peter with Ad Astra as one of the best episodes of the season. It reminded me so much of Measure of a Man. So it gave me all those Measure of a Man feels, and I love a good like courtroom drama. So that was fun for me to watch, and it reminded me of some of the older episodes, but kind of just a punched up version of it. And then, of course, I love Lower Decks. And to have, like, that crossover episode, it was just, like, everything I could have ever wanted. And then it had the callback to Ad Astra, which we really hadn't had. So I loved episode 7. And then, as I have already said in this episode of Open Pike, that I loved Under the Cloak of War. So it's funny because I feel like people were really upset about the, like, silly funny episode and then having like the war episode right after it. But I didn't really feel that jarred by that, and I really just loved that again, where I came to find my love for one of the characters more than the others.
Yeah.
M'Benga, he is my man.
Under the Cloak of War is definitely an honorable mention for me. Some of my favorite memes were like, you know, Wednesday Addams captioned as Strange New Worlds, and then like her happy-go-lucky friend in the show, also Strange New Worlds. Like, there's so many different variations of that meme where it's like, yeah, just whoa, big swings, but I like it.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen super frequently, I don't think. I mean, there haven't been a ton of chances for it to happen, but Marcy, I agree with you. Under the Cloak of War is the best episode of this season.
Mm-hmm.
It is the most personal. It is the most expansive for the Star Trek universe. It's a look at something that we don't see a lot of. We don't see a lot of ground war in Star Trek. And every aspect of it I felt was handled so well because you know going in, oh, it's a flashback episode. And usually I roll my eyes really hard at flashback episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But this was handled so organically and in such a human way that it didn't bump me at all. And it gave me more of every character. Every character had growth in that episode.
Yeah.
And M'Benga clearly stole the show. Like, honestly, I think it's my favorite episode of Strange New Worlds, bar none.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with you here. It's hard to like, because they're such different episodes, all three of those. But I feel like I really loved that character so much, and that he has actually had the most growth of any of the characters from season 1 to now, with, you know, all of the episodes that he's been in, and he's had a lot of screen time. He's had a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
And so I think that's probably why I like him, because I'm like, oh, a character that I know a lot about, you know?
Right.
And you know,
you can identify with him even if you're not a warrior or a doctor.
He's
Like,
got a lot of complexity, and I really loved that episode.
And a big part of it for me, honestly, go back and listen to our coverage of that episode with Tom Tran, because a huge part of what I appreciated so much about that episode is that actual combat veterans feel that it was done well and done realistically. And it like, for Hollywood, in quotes, right, to come up with anything that really truly speaks to people on a level that they don't feel pandered to or sort of glamorized is an accomplishment in and of itself. And Tom's take on that episode really solidified for me that, like, this is an episode of Star Trek that matters, right? When Star Trek is at its best, it matters. And I think Ad Astra is in that same boat, but I give this the nod over that one just because it was so fresh and so new and so powerful. Like, I was crying in Ad Astra, sure. But man, like, the range of emotions that I felt for Under the Cloak of War was very intense. And you know, guys, I like to be happy. I like to be having a lot of fun in my Star Trek. And it's the Star Trek I needed. It honestly was. And I'm
also,
so glad.
Space PCP.
Seriously. Like, I'm here for Battle Meth. I'm here for M'Benga. I'm here for Babs Alusin Mokun.
Yeah,
give the man
it was awesome.
whatever he asks for.
I just want to see that man get to go fishing. He deserves to go fishing.
Yeah, seriously.
In his hat.
More fishing scenes,
Seriously.
yes.
Oh my
Even
gosh,
if it's not actually fly fishing, yeah.
I'd forgotten about that scene. Oh my gosh, it makes his character even better.
Even better.
He knows how to relax. He knows where to find his peace.
Maybe I need to get on YouTube and watch a clip thing, a fan clip of all of the scenes together. Compilation.
Yeah. And then record your reaction and then post that on YouTube. And then we'll record a reaction to your reaction and post that.
The Marcy Open Pike Night Mbenga fan cam.
I love Under the Cloak of War. I would really like to see what comes next in that story specifically. I know there's more with Mbenga and Pike. I want to see the closing of that before.
I wanted to say something, but because so many of the long episode arcs that we saw could have been contained to one episode. I kind of feel like the La'an Kirk thing could have been contained to Tomorrow Squared and like just had it be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like this Mbenga storyline that deserved to be like, they should have been talking about that. Pike and Mbenga's relationship has changed after that episode. And that feels like that was the most episodic episode of the season.
Yeah. There's in the show Justified, there's a conflict that happens between the main character and his boss pretty early on. And they carry that through where it's like the boss is like, I don't trust you anymore. You still work for me. I'm still going to put you on assignments, but just know deep down, I don't trust you. And it's like, yeah, there should be at least a little bit of that with Pike and Mbenga. Not, I don't want it to be hostile, just more like there's a hesitation there now. There's a little bit of a fray in the thread, in the weave, and it needs to be. I'm looking forward to how they address that.
Their friendship has changed, like when I found out that Jesse really likes condiments on his hot dog. It's just not the same relationship anymore.
Hey, if you don't want to eat correct hot dogs, that's fine. We can still be friends. We can't, go to a hot dog stand together without a little bit of friction. It's not that we're going to hate each other, but you're right. There's going to be friction. Our relationship has changed.
Yeah. I love Ad Astra, and I know last season I was pretty heavy with my here's how I would have written it feedback. The only change to any episode I would personally make in this season is in Ad Astra, when Pike goes to meet with Nira for the first time. I would have just added in one small comedy moment where his air actually runs out and he just like slumps to the floor and then wakes up at her office. She's like, fine. You're tenacious, and then just the exact same conversation. No changes to the conversation. Just, I would have loved like the assistant talking, and just in the background you just see him like eat it on the floor, and then wake up in her office. Yeah. They're like, all right, we resuscitated you. Now, what do you want to talk about? Like that would have been
dying to talk
funny.
to you. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. So it could have used just a teensy bit of comedy right there, but it was a good season. And Jesse, now that we are 100% of the way done with Strange New Worlds season 2 and Strange New Worlds for the definitive future, it's time to decide which was a better season 1 or season 2.
The only difficulty I have here is that without season 1, as our friend Alpha Talking mentioned, season 2 wouldn't feel as heavy. There wouldn't be as much weight, right? Because it really does build on everything that we got from season 1. But it's season 2, you guys. It's a better season. That's not to say that season 1 is bad. I loved season 1. If season 1 is a 9, season 2 is a 10.
Okay. Cam?
Yeah, I mean, season 2, it feels more confident. There's more chemistry among the actors. The characters pop and feel more defined even. And I mean, these were not lacking in season 1 by any means, but season 2 just brought them all more. Most of the swings worked for the most part. And when they didn't swing like episode 4 and 10, they just freaking nailed what they do best. And season 2, I think, is a progressive movement from season 1.
Marcy?
Oh gosh, I'm bringing up my Wikipedia and looking at all those episodes from season 1 because I'm like, how do I feel about this? Because now I'm looking at, remember the episode Children of the Comet? Oh my God, that ripped my heart
Lift us where
apart.
suffering cannot reach.
Into
Mori.
Amok, that was fun. A Serene Squall, basically a submarine episode.
Elysian Kingdom was hard to beat, but
Elysian Kingdom, I mean, I think the musical episode beat it, like hardcore beat it. But I have to go with season 2. I mean, I feel like each one of the episodes, except for maybe like I wasn't a big fan of the Tomorrow tripled episode. But otherwise, all of the episodes were fun to watch. Well, I did fall asleep for 2 of them. Hold on.
Marcy works very hard every day. That's why she's always tired.
Yeah, I mean, season 2, the big hits that they did were way more successful than the big hits from the first season. So I guess I'm gonna stick with the party line and say season 2 was the better season.
And it's I like that, Cam, you're describing it as confident, because we described the pilot, the premiere episode, as a very confident premiere, and it was. Every episode, I think, has been mostly confident. But man, I think season 2, they truly embraced that confidence. They were restrained in season 1. Now that we've seen season 2, it's like, oh, there were restraints of season 1 that we weren't aware of because we had no point of reference. But now that we've seen these 10 newer episodes, like, yeah, this is a better season. It's a season I'm going to go back and rewatch more episodes from more often than I am rewatching episodes from season 1. I think it did several things. I think it brought more viewers. I think it reached a broader audience. I think it reached beyond where it came from with Discovery, and I think that it just tried harder, and I think it cared less about trying to be the same thing every week, and that made it stronger.
Yeah, I feel like season 1, it was saying, hey, we're going back to the Star Trek you love, the episodic journey through the stars. And it said, well, that was good for 10 episodes. Now we're going to be what Strange New Worlds is going to be. Yeah, which is swinging for the fences.
Well, and this is what you want from your TV shows, right? You want them to get better every season based on what they've learned. Like, and that is 100% a Star Trek franchise staple, right? Like every time you start up a Star Trek, somebody goes, just wait till you get to season 3. It'll be fine. Like just push through the first couple seasons. There's some gems in there, but like on the whole, just wait till you get to season 3. And we don't have to do that here, right? But we could. If somebody was like, I only have 10 episodes worth of time to watch, we could say, cool, start with season 2. Like we wouldn't need to, but they could get away with it because it is more episodic and because of those damn previously ons. But it, I part of me is like, I don't want to say anything bad about season 1. And that's where I'm struggling, because saying season 2 is better feels like that. But I really am not. I'm just saying this is what you want your shows to do. You want them to evolve. You want them to grow, and you want them to get better. And I feel they've totally done that.
Maybe it's also the effect of, because it's the most recent season you watch, you like it more than the previous season because you've already watched those other ones, and this is all new and fun and interesting,
Well,
so.
To that point, I said to the guys, and maybe I said on the show too, like after meeting Melissa Navia in person, like seeing her scenes in the final episode, which we watched that night, hit a lot more. And so maybe just like, however many episodes of Open Pike Night we have of talking to each other, of talking to amazing guests, of interviewing the cast and crew, like anything we watch after that is going to hit more than things we watched before it. To disagree with myself from just a moment ago, I mean, maybe what it's doing is when people watch TOS, they had no idea what to expect. Every episode was out of the box because it was nothing they'd seen before. And so maybe Strange New Worlds is embodying TOS in that way. It just has this, it's fighting against a wealth of pop culture knowledge in its audience to try to be something new every week.
Yeah. And for any of our listeners who are like, man, I don't know, that seems like a pretty easy ranking schedule, like which season was better than the other. Like, this is a lot easier than last season when we had to rank our favorite episodes in order. Don't worry, because I'm going to tell Cam and Jesse now that for our next recording, when we talk to Henry Alonzo Myers and Akiva Goldsman, I expect all three of us to have our 10 episodes out of 20 of Strange New Worlds that we would tell somebody to watch, and in what order to make the most perfect season of Strange New Worlds.
John's putting the screws to us.
How many of mine would be written by Henry Alonzo Myers and Akiva? Okay. More than zero, so that's
Davey
okay.
Perez.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Put Davey Perez in the room and I have no problem doing that.
So yes.
I'm actually looking forward to that, because I am very rarely put in a spot where I have to like pit things against each other in Star Trek.
You should also try to
what
make
10
it
episodes and in what order?
Make it an actual season that maybe if you watch them, they could be like a whole new season of Strange New Worlds, but they would make sense.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what plot threads do I want to follow? That's good. That's interesting. I like it. Okay.
And obviously, listeners will want to hear yours as or see them on social media if you want to. And we've got plenty of time. It doesn't have to be in a day or a week or a month. It could be in a year or two. So you got time.
All right. Well, Marcy, we did not warn you about this ahead of time, which I admit to do.
No, you didn't.
I'm going to let John say it, because when I try to say it, I just stumble over all the words.
So, Marcy.
Huh?
Open Pike Night is an Open Mic Night themed podcast. Do you have a joke to tell us tonight?
You didn't warn me about this, and you know how bad I am at this, Cameron.
You got to have jokes. You know jokes.
I don't know. I am a storyteller joker.
No,
that's fine. We've had those.
Hold on. Well, Cameron, I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm here to tell you a joke, okay? Oh, wait, no, I've turned into Christopher Walken. Gah!
Wait, is that Arnold doing a Christopher Walken impression or Christopher Walken doing an Arnold impression? I can't tell.
Yes.
That's it. That's all you get. My shitty impression. That's my joke.
That works.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
All right, Marcy, what do you have to plug?
Well, I've been kind of lax on my podcast, but my podcast is called At Idle Ride Podcast, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. And my podcast is available on Buzzsprout, and we reviewed my friend Paul and I, who's basically a brother from another mother to me, talked about the Last of Us television series, and also just mixed in some of the game stuff since we both played the game. We finally decided on what we were going to do for our next season, because I recently just watched the Apple Plus show Silo. I had read the book series, at least the first one, and loved the book, and so I was like, I'll try this out, and it was amazing, and it kind of runs along the same themes of a post-apocalypse kind of show, but has more of like a mystery element to it. Feels a little bit Fallout-y if you like Fallout video game. So you should watch that, and we're going to review that.
I have read that, yep.
Yeah. And I'm kind of revamping everything, so I might be a little bit more time, and I had some tragedy with my puppy dog passing away and stuff like that, so I just haven't felt like doing anything, if you know what I mean, but there'll be new content, I promise.
Excellent. All right. Well, Jesse, what is the best way for people to keep up on when we're going to be putting calls out to join us on the Open Pike Night stage over the next 18 to 24 months as we do various shows?
Yeah, I'm just going to jump in real quick. If you're listening to this the day it drops, that means you have probably less than 12 hours to get your calls in for Henry Alonzo Meyer and Akiva Goldsman for our showrunner retrospective.
That is correct.
And you're coming up on a week to get signed up as a patron at any level to win our apron that is signed by 8 bridge crew members of Strange New Worlds. So definitely look into that at patreon.com/openpike. Now, to answer John's question, the easiest way to stay up to date on what we need from you and when we need it is to go to openpike.substack.com and subscribe to our free newsletter. We're not ever going to charge for that. I know Substack really tries to push the monetization, but we're not here to do that. We're just here to communicate with you. So go to openpike.substack.com, get signed up. That will go directly to the inbox of your choice, and you will know what it is that we need from you and when and who we're going to be talking to next.
Excellent. And Cam, when you're not on the Open Pike Night stage, where can folks find you?
Yeah, you can find me watching The Next Generation and DS9, as we mentioned at the beginning, getting back into it very soon. I'm very excited to continue my journey. Green Shirt and Newbies Trek through TNG. Find it wherever you're listening to this.
Jesse, where can folks find you?
You can find me all over social media for Open Pike Night at Open Pike. That goes for Twitter. We're not going to call it X. It goes for Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Wherever you like to be on the social media universe, look up at Open Pike and I will be there. And if for whatever reason you need more of me in your ears, you can stay in this podcasting app and look up Sudden But Inevitable. That's the show where I take friends through single season television shows that were canceled before their time, shows like Firefly, Cowboy Bebop. We even watched a couple of movies. I had never seen Logan's Run, and Marcy here graciously joined us to talk about Logan's Run. And then we found somebody who hadn't seen Donnie Darko. So there's a lot of first-timers getting big feelings at Sudden But Inevitable.
All right. Well, it's been a long night. It's been a short season. And the Open Pike Night crew has to go figure out what to do for potentially 100 episodes until the next season comes out. Don't forget to clean up after yourselves. Don't forget to tip your servers. You can go anywhere you want, but you can't stay here.